Chapter 827. Huamin, I also invited your older brother, you don't mind, do you? Mo Shuer asked with a smile. Of course. I don't mind. Huamin smiled as well. She finally understood that this wasn't just a simple meal. Huamin really thought too much of Mo Shuer. Hua Xiqian, on the other hand, was very generous. He walked in and sat right next to Mo Shuer. Then, he intimately kissed her cheek, treating Huamin as if he was invisible. I'm the host today, you guys order whatever you want. Mo Shuer was very generous. Hua Xiqian looked up at Huamin and said, Mian can order whatever she wants, I'll eat whatever she wants. Huamin didn't say anything, he just looked down at the menu. Then, he reached out his hand and called the waiter over, give me this barbecue, pork belly, enoki mushrooms, squid, and chicken feet. Oh right, and this pork tendon and vegetable combo. What about drinks? Mineral water. Then I want mineral water too. Hua Xiqian was like a child. You're not drinking today. Mo Shuer looked at Hua Xiqian and asked. Nope, I have a meeting at the company in the afternoon. After ordering, the three of them sat across from each other. It was actually quite awkward. If it was just Hua Xiqian and Huamin, it wouldn't be so awkward. However, with Mo Shuer, who he wasn't very familiar with, it was a bit awkward. Shuer, how's your work these days? Emichim, thanks to President Qin's care, my jobs have been pretty good, and they're all top-notch. Oh. Huamin nodded, but he suddenly didn't know what to say. Hua Xiqian, on the other hand, poured himself a glass of mineral water, looked at Huamin, and said, You've successfully become a doctor, but you didn't treat me to a meal. Let me congratulate you today. Thank you. Huamin, you're a doctor now. Mo Shuer was surprised. Yes, I had an exam a few days ago. Ha! I didn't even know about something this big. Mr. Huashuer is well informed. Mo Shuer looked at Hua Xiqian meaningfully. Of course. How could I not pay attention to my own sister? Take Hui Yanyan for example. I know how many overdraft cards she spends every month. Did you notice, Mr. Hua? My eyes look like Huamin's. Mo Shuer said with a smile. Huamin touched his own face curiously and looked at Mo Shuer. He really didn't think they looked alike. He didn't know why she said that, really. Why don't I feel anything? Hua Xiqian kept smiling. But a lot of people are saying. Ever since I came to GK, more and more people are saying that I look like a young lady. I'm honored, I'm not as good looking as you are. You're flattering me. Huamin took a sip of water. No way, you must be extraordinary. Otherwise, how could President Qin be a henkan? Haha, henkan. It was the first time Huamin heard this term, and it was used to describe Qin Chu. Yeah, a few of us artists at GK sometimes say that President Qin is a henkan. Last time, the reimbursement bill was so ridiculous. But because you agreed to it, President Qin signed it without hesitation. It's obvious how much he loves you. Upon hearing Mo Shuer's words, Huamin felt a little embarrassed. That brother-in-law of mine. That's true. But then again, any man who marries my little sister must be very lucky. How could he not treat her well? I told you that you treat Huamin much better than Hui Yanyan, right? You're such a biased brother. Mo Shuer interrupted. Huamin looked up at Hua Xiqian and felt that he was looking at him with a complicated expression. Chapter 828. No normal person would like someone like Hui Yanyan, Huamin said calmly. Of course, she's retarded. The only people who like her are her friends, because she's dumb and rich, Hua Xiqian said mockingly as he picked up a spicy radish. How could he compare Huamin to Hui Yanyan? Was Hui Yan good enough for him? Her IQ was so high that she could carry Huamin's shoes for him. Ha, you're too funny. Mo Shui giggled as she covered her mouth. I'm serious, Hua Xiqian said with a straight face. Just then, the waitress began to serve the dishes. Since she was closer to Huamin, she picked up a spatula and began to fry the meat. After a few seconds, Hua Xiqian took the spatula from her. Look at how dumb you are, you don't know how to cook. Let me do it. Mo Shui looked at Hua Xiqian with a complicated expression on her face. Then, she said coquettishly, young Master Hua is really good at taking care of people. Whoever marries him will be happy. You two are a good match, Huamin blurted out. I want to, but he doesn't like me. I'm not good enough for him. Who said that? Did you forget how you got him last night? Hua Xiqian said dirty words. Mo Shui immediately punched him on the shoulder. Can't you two let me eat? I have to go back to the hospital in a bit. Huamin smiled. Hua Xiqian stir-fried the meat for a while, and all the meat was ready. The three of them began to eat. Hua Xiqian was very considerate. He would put meat in Mo Shui and Huamin's bowl. Then, he would pour them water, get them utensils, and tissues. He was more like a waiter than a waiter. Huamin initially thought that Mo Shui only wanted to have a meal with her and talk about the company. Later on, he realized that she had an ulterior motive. From the moment Hua Xiqian walked through the door, Huamin already knew what Mo Shui was up to. She just wanted to see if there was any intimate relationship between her and Hua Xiqian. This might seem a little crazy to outsiders. However, Hua Xiqian was indeed not a member of the Hua family. He was just an adopted son. Mo Shui must really love Hua Xiqian. Back then, Mo Shui came to sign the contract with Hua Xiqian after he called her. This is enough to verify. When Huamin walked out of the restaurant, he wasn't in a good mood either. After Huamin got into the car, Hua Xiqian sent him a WeChat message. Don't eat with Mo Shui alone in the future. Why not? Huamin asked back. Why do you ask so many questions? Just listen to whatever I say. Why should I listen to you? Stupid girl, you're being rebellious again. Whatever, just remember, that woman isn't as simple as you think. Just as he was about to drive back to Southside, he received a call from the chief of internal medicine. He wanted him to go to the first hospital and get some medicine for Shui Shui. Huamin immediately turned around and went to the first hospital. He followed the instructions and got the medicine. Huamin went downstairs to look for Huang Yu. However, she wasn't in the OB/GYN department. Head nurse, where's Yu? She went out. She's by the side door. I think her boyfriend is here. Huamin was slightly surprised. Boyfriend? Jixin. Shouldn't he be in class right now? Huamin was very curious. He put his medicine in the car and walked towards the side door. There were 3 entrances to the first hospital, the main entrance, the back entrance, and the side door. The side door was more secluded and most patients wouldn't use it. Usually, the hospital staff would use it for convenience. Huamin walked down the dark corridor to the side door. From afar, he saw Huang Yu pulling a man. That man wasn't Jixin. Huamin's heart sank when he saw this. Chapter 829. What's the point of working at this shitty job? How much do you get paid per month? I told you that I'll take care of you. Why don't you know what's good for you? So many women want me to take care of them, but I refuse. You really don't know what's good for you. Let go of me, I have to go to work. Don't come looking for me at work again. Huang Yu seemed to dislike men. What? You're scared that your pretty boy student will see you. The man laughed disgustingly. He was a man with tattoos on his arms. It was a cold day, yet he was wearing sleeves. What a psycho. His hair was slightly long, his eyes were small, his nose was big, and his mouth was ugly. He looked like he was in his 30s. Min couldn't imagine how Huang Yu got involved with someone like him. He was the epitome of a scumbag. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and leave, don't let anyone see us. I don't want anyone to talk about us like that. Huang Yu reached out and pushed the man away. The man turned around and slapped Huang Yu. Bitch. You weren't so impatient to chase me away when you were in my bed. I haven't hit you for a few days, so you're going to give me some face, right? I was kind enough to take you out for lunch, but you fucking pulled a long face at me. That's why I say you women are so cheap. I just didn't do you well enough. The man's mouth was full of profanity, and he even slapped Huang Yu. Min, who wasn't far behind them, couldn't take it anymore. She walked out from the corner and blocked the man's hand that was about to fall again. Huang Yu was a coward. She was so scared that she tilted her head. She didn't even dare to fight back. Scumbag, stop right now, Min cursed. Who the fuck are you? Senior sister. Why are you here? Huang Yu suddenly looked up when she heard the voice. When she saw Min, she was shocked. If I didn't come to find you, I wouldn't be able to see this amazing scene. Min looked coldly at Huang Yu and said, Senior sister. I'm so sorry for you and Jixin. Huang Yu began to cry. Don't talk first. We'll talk later. With that, Min walked over and kicked the man's lower body. Min had perfected this end of posterity kick. You stinking woman, you dare to kick me, do you know who I am? Even if your father is Sun Wukong, I'll still kick him. Let me tell you, men who hit women are all fucking cowards. If you're so capable, go to Iraq and help. What's the point of hitting women here, you idiot? This was the first time in his life that Min had cursed so intensely. Simply, her feelings could no longer be described as anger. With that, Min turned around, grabbed Huang Yu's hand, and started walking back. Little bitch. You just wait and see how I'll deal with you later. The man yelled behind them as he held on to his crotch. Huang Yu didn't say anything the whole way, she just cried. Min dragged her to a remote rooftop in the hospital. Then, he suddenly let go. Tell me, what happened? Min crossed his arms and looked at Huang Yu with a serious expression. She never thought that one day, Huang Yu would date another man behind Jixin's back. Plus, that man wasn't even as handsome as Jixin. He was old, ugly, and had tattoos all over his body. Senior sister. I didn't want it to be like this. I really didn't mean to lie to you and Jixin. I had no choice. Huang Yu cried incoherently. Perhaps she didn't expect Min to encounter something like this. Tell me one thing at a time. First, tell me, who is that man? What's his relationship with you? Min looked coldly at Huang Yu. Chapter 830. Huang Yu leaned against the cold wall, dispirited. After a moment of silence, she slowly said, Mian, I'm sorry for Jixin, you've already said that. Min reminded her coldly. I met him at a class reunion, he's my classmate's older brother. My classmate organized the reunion, so we didn't have to split the bill. There were a lot of people, so I went. I didn't expect. I drank too much, and then I slept with him. I swear, I only like Jixin. I really drank too much, so I don't remember anything. Later on, that guy kept harassing me, and he kept coming to my apartment and the hospital to find me. I'm really, really scared of him. He's a gangster. I heard he has a gang background, so I didn't dare to mess with him. He even threatened that if I didn't listen to him, he would go to school and find Jixin and cripple him. I'm really scared of Jixin. Mian Huamin, I'm really sorry. I didn't dare to tell you guys, because I was scared that you guys would look down on me, and I was scared that Jixin wouldn't be able to take it. Huang Yu cried as she spoke, and it didn't seem like she was faking it. Huamin sighed slightly when he heard what she said. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I didn't dare, that guy is too scary. I didn't want to drag you guys down, really, you guys don't know how much of a scumbag he is, he's capable of doing anything. Huang Yu was a little white rabbit who had never come into contact with someone like that, so she was really scared, therefore, she chose to remain silent and swallow her anger. When it came to Jixin, she chose to avoid him, so you've been avoiding Jixin? Huamin continued to ask. I know that Jixin treats me well, but I feel so dirty right now. I can't face him. As Huang Yu said this, she covered her head and squatted on the ground, crying again. She was only a 21-year-old girl, so she really couldn't handle this much psychological pressure. Have you thought about calling the police? Call the police. How would I dare? He has a gang. If the police arrest him, his gang will kill my whole family. You don't know them. They are all outlaws. Huang Yu had been beaten up by En several times, so she was scared of him, but how long do you plan to stay on the edge like this? When will it end? Huamin asked indifferently. I don't know either. I just wanted to buy as much time as possible. I didn't expect you to find out. Senior sister, can you not tell Jixin? I'm afraid he won't be able to take it. Jixin cares about you a lot. Don't you think you should give him an explanation? Huamin didn't know what to say. Things had already come to this point, yet he still had to keep Jixin in the dark. She made him suffer from lovesickness. Did she really love Jixin? I have to give him an explanation. I'll break up with him tonight. Are you sure you want to break up? What else can I do? I'm already like this. Will Jixin still like me? Huang Yu's eyes were red and swollen from crying. You're not Jixin, how do you know what he's thinking? Huang Yu shook her head. Even if Jixin doesn't mind, I can't live with myself. Plus, that person said that if I continue to contact Jixin, he'll destroy Jixin as well. I can't hurt him. So you're going to live like this for the rest of your life? What else can I do? Why didn't you ask me about this? I don't think I can't deal with someone like that. We can face it together, Huamin said word for word. If it was before, Huamin probably wouldn't dare to mess with those hooligans. However, things were different now. She had Qin Chu, Gao Ran, and even the owner of Seductive Fox at her disposal. If one were to talk about the biggest asshole, no one would be more powerful than the owner of Seductive Fox. However, Wang Yu didn't say a word about it. Even if you help me take care of that person, what about his accomplices? If you can't get rid of all of them, my family will be in danger. My parents love me so much, I don't want anything to happen to them. I can't let anything happen to them. Senior sister, can you be considerate of me? Huang Yu begged Huamin. She didn't even want Huamin to help her out. Her way of dealing with things was really ridiculous. So, you don't want me to help you, right? Huamin looked at Huang Yu with disappointment. Chapter 831. Yes, Huang Yu replied as she clenched her teeth. Okay, since you said so, what else can I say? Huamin smiled bitterly. I'm sorry, Mian. I know you're good to me, but I have too many concerns. No, you're not sorry at all. You're sorry for Jixin. I didn't want you guys to be together back then because you were both too young and didn't know how to handle things properly. It was inevitable that you guys would hurt each other. But Jixin loves you deeply, and as his older sister, I don't want to be the person who breaks you up. Since things have come to this, I don't blame you. I just hope that you don't drag this out. If you want to break up, just tell him. Don't make him wait like an idiot. Okay. I'll tell him tonight, Huang Yu said with difficulty. Huamin looked at her. Then take care of yourself. Also, if you need my help, call me today. Otherwise, I won't care about anything that happens to you in the future. Huamin wasn't being heartless, but rather, he was being decisive and decisive. One had to be decisive and decisive. Huang Yu was afraid of offending that hooligan today, so she refused to let Huamin help her. She didn't want to continue her relationship with Jixin, but she was afraid of that person's threat. She was too timid. She was so timid that she was overcautious. She was so timid that she was willing to give up her beloved boyfriend to be with a scumbag. This was her own choice. If she missed the opportunity that Huamin gave her, then Huamin really wouldn't help her anymore. He already gave her a chance. If she missed it, then it wasn't worth it anymore. I'm sorry, Mian, Huang Yu still said the same thing. Huamin was annoyed by her words. She turned around and left. She got into her Audi R8 and sped back to South Side. She delivered the medicine to Shui Shui's attending physician and then went back to her office to organize her documents. Dr. Hua, someone booked your appointment. Do you want to continue? The assistant nurse asked. Huamin looked down at the time and nodded. Take this one. Okay. Then, the nurse brought the patient in. What's the situation? Huamin looked at the data on the computer and asked in a low voice. The person remained silent. Why are you? Huamin raised his head and was about to scold her when he was stunned. To her surprise, she realized that the person who had arrived was none other than Ning Ziyuan. Why are you here? Mian, you're a doctor now, congratulations. Ning Ziyuan looked very haggard. His beard was unkempt, and the jacket he wore was a little old. He didn't seem to be doing too well, thank you, Huamin said lightly. My parents came to look for you a few days ago, right? Yes, they couldn't find you, so they found me. Yeah, I called them later. Thank you for taking care of them for me and giving them money. No need. They treat me very well too. I treat them like family. Huamin's heart still ached when he thought of the sincere old couple. Was fired by President Wu after I divorced Wu Xiaoxue. I heard that it was because you made a mistake during a cataract surgery, Huamin said as he stared at him. Ning Ziyuan nodded. I was very confused at the time. I don't know why, but I couldn't concentrate. After I left the first hospital, I started seeing patients at a small private hospital. Where are you living? Auntie Ning said that you rented out that apartment. Yeah, I'm living in the dorm provided by the hospital. It saves money that way. Oh. Huamin nodded. I haven't been feeling very well lately. Can you prescribe me some medicine? Ning Ziyuan suddenly said, you can't rely on medicine. You have to adjust your mentality. As a doctor, you should know this. Huamin didn't want to hurt him. Many of the medicine that suppressed one's mental state would make them look very stupid. Can you lend me some money? I'm a little short on money lately, Ning Ziyuan suddenly said. Chapter 832. Huamin was a little speechless, but out of courtesy, she still asked, how much do you want to borrow? 100,000, is that okay? Why do you need so much money? 100,000 wasn't a lot to Huamin, but she wanted to know what Ning Ziyuan was going to do with the money. Oh. I want to buy a pharmacy and do it myself. I don't want to go to work, it's uncomfortable to be controlled by others. 100,000 isn't enough to buy a pharmacy. At the very least, investing in a pharmacy would cost 300,000 to 500,000. Oh, I'm partnering with someone else. They're offering 200,000, I'm offering 100,000, Ning Ziyuan corrected himself. Where's the pharmacy? How much is the rent? Do you have all the documents? Who's the legal person? Huamin threw out several questions in a row. Ning Ziyuan was stunned by the questions. Huamin was a typical Virgo, she was very meticulous. She thought that if Ning Ziyuan was telling the truth, then she could lend him 100,000. But seeing how he stuttered and evasive his answers, something didn't feel right. I'm not sure either, my friend did it. There are a lot of scammers these days, you should ask them clearly. Can you give me 100,000 now? I'll definitely pay you back when I have the money. Ning Ziyuan said anxiously, sure. I'll say it again, I'll lend you the money if you provide me with the details. I only help the needy, not the poor. If you want to squander the money, no one can help you. Huamian enunciated each and every word. Fine, I admit that I lied to you. I didn't open a pharmacy. I just don't have the money to spend. You're my ex-girlfriend, can't you help me? Isn't Qin Chu really rich? He even bought you a mansion and a mansion. You guys spend over 100 million on an anniversary celebration, why is it so hard to give me some money? Ning Ziyuan seemed to be filled with resentment. Huamin was shocked by him. What you mean is that those poor people can ask the rich for money if they have no money, and it's wrong if they don't give it to them? Huamin laughed mockingly. But aren't we friends? Isn't it normal to help a friend? Ning Ziyuan spoke matter-of-factly, really. Since we're friends, why didn't you help me when I was so anxious to find you when Jixin was in a car accident? Huamin smiled, if I help you, Qin Chu won't have anything to do with it. After all, he has to thank you and let you go. Ning Ziyuan said shamelessly. Huamin wanted to curse out loud. It's time for the diagnosis. You can leave. I have nothing to say to you. You won't lend me the money, right? Yes. Huamin nodded. Good, very good, Huamin, just you wait. You'll get your retribution, Ning Ziyuan said viciously. You're wrong. Only evil people get their retribution. I, Huamin, have been honest for the past 24 years. I've never done anything wrong. Why would I get my retribution? Oh, really? Then why don't you have children after being married for so long? Ning Ziyuan laughed viciously. Huamin's face instantly turned pale. What? You don't know what to say. I hit the nail on the head. You think you're happy just because you married into a rich family, haha. I often read the entertainment news. Your mother-in-law scolds you every day and calls you a hen that can't lay eggs. You're just pretending to be a young lady, aren't you? The truth is, you can't even have children. How much longer will Qin Chu love you like this? Ning Ziyuan, shut up. Huamin was so angry that he was shaking. Perhaps his words hit her where it hurt, so she couldn't stay calm. Is it because your husband can't do it? Ha! Do you want me to be a virgin and lend you my seed so you can get pregnant? As soon as he said this, Huamin threw a pen holder at Ning Ziyuan. With a clang, it landed on Ning Ziyuan's head. Ning Ziyuan, don't be so evil. You're a father after all. It won't do you any good to walk down this path. Chapter 833. You don't have to be so cocky with me. Huamin, I'll wait. Even if I have to live my life, I want to see the day you get stepped on. After speaking, Ning Ziyuan left with his head in his hands. Huamin was so angry that her face turned ugly. Not having children seemed to be a sore point for her. However, she didn't want to do this either. Ning Ziyuan had spoken so viciously because he failed to borrow money from her. She was speechless. Did couples have to fight when they saw each other again after breaking up? Huamin was restless the entire afternoon. Jixin's incident and Ning Ziyuan's incident made her feel double the pressure. After she got off work, she drove straight back to her home at Imperial Park. Then, she fell into a deep sleep. She didn't even know when Chin Chu came home. Honey, it's time to eat. Don't sleep. Chin Chu made a few calls, but Huamin didn't hear them because her ringtone was turned down. He anxiously went to South Side and found out that she got off work on time, so he went straight back to Imperial Park. When he saw Huamin's Audi downstairs, he knew that she must be upstairs. I don't want to eat, you eat. Huamin's voice was very quiet. Chin Chu felt that something was wrong. He leaned down and touched her forehead with his lips. Only then did he realize that she was shockingly hot. You have a fever, you didn't even know, you were still sleeping. Heartbroken, Chin Chu picked her up from the bed, wrapped her in a blanket, and carried her upstairs to the sofa. Then, he took out an electronic thermometer to measure her temperature, 39.6. Huamin, that's enough. Chin Chu looked at the thermometer, his face turning dark. Normal people wouldn't be able to take it. How could she not have a reaction? She was a doctor, how could she not know common sense? Huamin only felt uncomfortable all over. Then, she felt sleepy and wanted to sleep. She really didn't notice that she had such a high fever. Chin Chu took out the fever medicine from the first aid kit and poured a cup of warm water for her to take. Then, he hugged her in his arms and pressed his face against hers with heartache. Why do you have a fever out of nowhere? Maybe, he caught a cold, Huamin said in a daze. Idiot. You don't even know that you're sick. You're the biggest idiot in the world. What if I don't know how to find you? If you continue burning, won't your brain be fried? That's good. Then I can quietly be an idiot. Then I can stay by your side and let you take care of me for the rest of my life. Huamin rubbed his warm face against Chin Chu's chiseled chin. Chin Chu's heart ached as he hugged her tightly. Fortunately, the medicine worked well, and after half an hour, Huamin's fever subsided. Chin Chu used the towel to apply ice to her forehead. He let her rest her head on his lap. Just then, Huamin's phone rang. Chin Chu saw that it was his mother, so he picked it up. Auntie. Where's Mian? Yang Meirong asked. She's here. Give her the phone. Yang Meirong seemed a little anxious. Chin Chu handed the phone to Huamin, and Huamin picked it up in a daze. Mian, Mom, what's wrong? Come back quickly. I don't know what's wrong with Jixin, but he didn't eat or drink when he got home. He locked himself in his room and didn't open the door even when I knocked. Okay, I'll be right back. Only then did Huamin remember that Huang Yu might have told Jixin about the breakup. So, she forced herself to stay awake. Where are you going? Jixin, there's some trouble over there. I have to go back and check on him. Let's go together. Chin Chu knew that Huamin had to go, so he didn't stop her. Instead, he drove her to Sky Blessing Court. You guys are finally here. Go and see that kid. He's acting weird today, he didn't say anything to me. Yang Meirong was very anxious. Chapter 834. On the way there, Huamin told Chin Chu about Jixin's situation. So, Chin Chu had a rough idea of what was going on. Huamin dragged his feverish body upstairs to Jixin's bedroom. Jixin, open the door, it's your sister. She knocked several times, but Jixin didn't respond. Jixin, open the door, come out and tell me what you want. Sis, I'm not asleep. Let me be alone. Huamin looked at Chin Chu helplessly. Chin Chu walked up. Let me try. Jixin, it's your brother-in-law. Open the door, I want to talk to you about your internship at the company. Sure enough, when he heard Chin Chu, Jixin slowly opened the door. My dear, you finally opened the door. Huamin let out a sigh of relief when he saw that Jixin was fine. Sis, she broke up with me. Jixin looked at Huamin with tears in his big eyes. He seemed to be sad and wanted to cry, but he also felt bitter and embarrassed, so he tried his best to hold it in. Huamin couldn't help but hug Jixin. Jixin also hugged Huamin, and the two siblings hugged each other like that. Mr. Qin, who was watching from the side, felt jealous. Luckily, it was Jixin, so he didn't feel jealous. If it was anyone else, he would have grabbed that person and thrown him out. Jixin, your sister is still sick. This isn't the place to talk, let's go downstairs. Qin Chu comforted him. Jixin let go of Huamin and quietly followed behind them. Huamin didn't want his mother to hear, so he said, "Mom, my brother is fine. He just didn't do well on the exam, but I talked him out of it. He's hungry, and so am I. Hurry up and cook us some porridge. I want pumpkin porridge. Make it a little longer." Oh, so it's an exam. This matter really scared me to death. This child, alright, you guys just wait. When Yang Meirong heard Huamin's words, she was no longer suspicious. He went straight to the kitchen to prepare supper. Qin Chu, Huamin, and Jixin sat on the sofa in the living room. Jixin took out his phone and handed it to Huamin. She sent me a WeChat message. Take a look at it yourself. I don't want to repeat myself. Huamin took the phone and saw Huang Yu's message. Jixin, I'm sorry. I've thought about it for a long time, but I still have to tell you that I've fallen in love with someone else. We met at a class reunion, and I can't be with you anymore. I didn't want to hurt you, so I didn't tell you. But it's not good for either of us to drag this out, so let's break up. Thank you for taking care of me before, and I wish you a better girl in the future. These words were very conventional and did not have any standard. One look and one could tell that it was something a child would say. So, you can't take it anymore. Huamin looked at his brother, a little angry at how useless he was. No, I just can't stand how fickle she is. I don't think she's that kind of person. People's hearts are unpredictable. How can you know what a person is thinking? Plus, you can't force love. I know. Jixin nodded. If you know, then why are you so depressed? We just broke up, no one can accept it. I just feel bad, really, sis, it hurts here. Jixin pointed at his chest. Huamin frowned. Forget it, the pain will pass. You have to be strong. Jixin, you're a man, you can't just live with love. You still have your friends, your teachers, your classmates, and your career. Your brother-in-law already thought about it. After the new year, you'll have fewer classes when school starts, so you can go straight to GK. Really? Brother-in-law, I can go after the new year. Jixin was pleasantly surprised. It was almost December. After the new year in March, he only had a few months left. Yeah, as long as you pull yourself together and work hard, nothing will be a problem. I'll listen to you, brother-in-law, you're my idol. You're only 27 years old, but you're already on the Forbes Asia list. You're on the cover of many financial magazines, you're so cool. The more Jixin spoke, the more excited he became. The sadness from before seemed to have disappeared. Huamin looked at Qin Chu gratefully. The relationship between the couple was obvious. Brother-in-law, can I go to GK Film and Television for my internship? Jixin suddenly asked. Huamin and Qin Chu were both surprised by the question. Chapter 835. Why do you want to go to GK Film and Television? Huamin asked, confused. Because I really like Immerse. Qin Chu, Huamin, you're a fan of celebrities. Huamin was completely speechless. She's so good at acting, and Ni Yang is so good at singing. Did you guys hear the last song he sang at the concert? It's called The Lonely Bird. Oh my God, it was so good that it broke my heart. When it came to An Yang, Jishin was even more exaggerated. "Oh, I heard that song, it was really good." An Yang is one of the rare superstars who is both a capable and an idol. "He's the male lead of our company," Chin Chu said with a smile. "That's great. Brother-in-law, I'll go to GK. Maybe I can be Mo Shue's assistant or An Yang's assistant." Huamin rolled his eyes at him. "That's all you've got? You're the president's brother-in-law, how can you be someone's assistant? Don't you feel ashamed?" "Ha! I can start from the bottom. Once I understand how the company operates, you can promote me to the president of GK Film and Television." "Chin Chu, Huamin, bro, if you're okay, go wash up and go to bed. What are you guys talking about? You look so happy." Yang Meirong walked out of the kitchen with a tray containing 3 bowls of pumpkin porridge. She also brought some salted vegetables and heated up some snacks. "Wow, you're done so quickly." "Thank you, Mom." Huamin smiled. After his fever subsided, he was starving. He ate with relish. Chin Chu and An Yang each had some porridge as well. Seeing that An Yang was fine, Yang Meirong was relieved. Before they left, Huamin repeatedly reminded Jishin, "Don't go looking for Huang Yu." Jishin nodded. After that, Huamin and Chin Chu went home. The next morning when Huamin arrived at the hospital, he first went to see Shui, who had just woken up. He was in good spirits. Xia Wan was feeding him porridge. "Morning, Shui." "Good morning, Sister Hua." "Wow, you look so energetic today. Come, let me take a look." Huamin walked over and saw that Shui's complexion had improved a lot. His mood improved as well. "When did he wake up?" "He woke up last night. Chief Chi said that he's recovering well." "That's good. You've worked hard these days." No. It's my own child. It's not hard at all." Xia Wan shook her head repeatedly. "When Shui is discharged from the hospital, I'll find a school for him and a new place for you to live. Then you can take some time to meet An Yang." "Yes." Xia Wan nodded. "An Yang. Is it that big star?" Shui suddenly heard it. "Yeah, it's that big star brother." "Do you like him?" "I do, my classmates all like him. They say that he's super handsome and he sings really well." Shui said excitedly. Xia Wan didn't feel good about it. They were half-brothers, but they didn't like each other at all. "When you're better, I'll take you to meet that big brother of his, okay?" "Really?" Shui was obviously very excited. "Of course, I never lie. But isn't he a big star?" Shui reacted quickly. "But a big star is still a person. Big Brother An Yang is a really nice person." "That's great. I want to take a picture with him and get his autograph." Shui was so happy that he danced around. "Don't move around. Hurry up and eat," Xia Wan scolded, probably because she didn't feel good about it. At noon, Huamin finished eating and returned to the lobby on the first floor. She heard someone calling her from afar. She turned around and saw that it was indeed Jiang Xiaowei. "Beauty, ever since you got engaged, you've been really busy. Not only have I not been able to see you, but even Wei Liao rarely walks around the market," Huamin joked. "Haha, that's because I taught him well." "Oh right, come with me. I have something to tell you." "What is it?" Can you take a look at this for me?" "What's going on?" Jiang Xiaowei mysteriously took out something from her pocket and handed it to Huamin. Huamin picked it up and looked at it. He was immediately dumbfounded. "So you're trying to tell me that you're pregnant?" Huamin looked at Jiang Xiaowei in surprise. Chapter 836. Pregnant. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Jiang Xiaowei was going crazy. Sis, this is an early pregnancy test. There are 2 lines. The second line isn't that obvious, right? How can you be sure that I'm pregnant? Jiang Xiaowei was speechless. She and Wei Liao had only been together for a short while. It hadn't even been 20 days since they started living together. When she woke up this morning, she realized that her period, which was usually punctual, was late. Therefore, she bought an early pregnancy test, but in the end, it should be. Huamin nodded. Oh my god, what should I do now? Jiang Xiaowei didn't seem ready. Sis, this is a good thing, okay? Why do you look like you hate him so much? Huamin couldn't be more envious. How great would it be if he was her good thing? What's good about it? Who knows what will happen between us in the future? Plus, I'm not prepared for this. If you're not mentally prepared, you should use some protection, sis. Jiang Xiaowei was a straight-A student with a PhD in psychology. How come she didn't even know this basic knowledge? I did. I was drunk one day, and he was impulsive. It didn't work, it was just that one time. This thing can be so magical sometimes. Huamin quietly replied. Can you be sure that I'm pregnant? After all, it's only been 10 days. It can't be that weird, right? Jiang Xiaowei still couldn't believe it. There's another way. You can come with me to the OB/GYN to get your blood drawn and test your progesterone level. Then, everything will be fine. Okay, let's go, take me there. Before Huamin could say anything, Jiang Xiaowei pushed her into the OB/GYN. Upstairs in the OB/GYN, Huamin accompanied Jiang Xiaowei to get her blood drawn. Then, he asked his colleagues in the lab to get the results as soon as possible. 40 minutes later, Jiang Xiaowei held the test results with a bitter expression on her face. This child is too fucking unexpected. It's fate that it's here. You're not planning to abort it, are you? I do have that thought. No, give birth to it and let me raise it. You can't abort it. The child is alive, Huamin said pitifully. Ha! I'm just kidding. I think they'll be happy that I don't have parents. Also, the Wei family. They don't like me because I'm too direct with my words. But I don't like them either. Now that I'm pregnant, it's a good chance to make them talk. That's right. Since you plan to be with Wei Liao, you must keep the child. Wait for me to go back and see his reaction. In fact, Jiang Xiaowei was quite uncertain. Usually, when a man's relationship wasn't stable, he didn't like his girlfriend to be pregnant. The 2 of them were not officially married and had not registered their marriage. Although the engagement was sensational, it could only be considered a ceremony. However, Wei Liao wasn't young anymore. He was one of the older ones, even older than Su Yu. He was already 28 years old. Maybe he'd be happy that Jiang Xiaowei was pregnant. After Jiang Xiaowei's pregnancy was confirmed, she seemed to have mixed feelings. One moment, she was happy, and the next, she was pessimistic. Huamin was very envious and kept reminding her to protect herself. He even ran to the prescription and bought her folic acid with his own money. Remember to take it for the first 3 months. It's good for the baby. Thank you, my genius doctor. Jiang Xiaowei pinched Huamin's face. After Jiang Xiaowei left, she went straight to Wei Liao's company. The Wei family's business was very big. They started with steel and now they were also in the chemical industry. Wei Liao wasn't the top CEO of the family group. He didn't have as much power as Qin Chu. However, he was still the executive vice president. Wei Liao. Jiang Xiaowei shouted as she walked towards the office. Slightly, why are you at the company? I have good news and bad news for you. Which one do you want to hear? The bad one. The bad news is that I think I'm pregnant. Wei Liao was dumbfounded. What about the good news? Chapter 837. The good news is that you're going to be a father. Gaw. Wei Liao almost choked to death. You're pregnant, and I'm going to be a father. What's the difference? Wei Liao was speechless. Yes, I'm pregnant. It's a little sudden, and it's a bad thing for us. But you're 28 years old, and you're going to be a father. In a sense, this is good news. No wonder you study psychology, you're awesome. Wei Liao gave her a thumbs up. Cut the crap, you made me pregnant. What do we do now? Abort and break up, or... Before Jiang Xiaowei could finish her sentence, Wei Liao immediately stood up and covered Jiang Xiaowei's mouth with his hand. Oh my God! What are you talking about? Why do we have to abort it? You said it's a good thing that I'm going to be a father. So... what do we do now? Jiang Xiaowei asked on purpose. In fact, she really wanted to see Wei Liao's reaction so that she would know what to do next. Based on Jiang Xiaowei's swift and decisive way of doing things, if Wei Liao appeared to be depressed, she wouldn't let him off easily. She would immediately ask Huamin to make an appointment with the obstetrician to abort the baby, and then break up with the jerk. If Wei Liao looked happy, then, of course, we're getting married with a baby. Getting married with a baby? Jiang Xiaowei was surprised. Yeah. The baby's here. Isn't it a reminder for us to get married soon? Hurry up. You won't look good in a wedding dress when you're pregnant. Oh, by the way, the weather is nice today, why don't we get our marriage certificate first? Now. Jiang Xiaowei was petrified again. Wei Liao looked at his watch. Yeah, there's still time. I'm familiar with them, so they can wait for us to get our household register. Hey, we're getting married just like that. Jiang Xiaowei was surprised. Wei Liao was really happy, don't worry, I'll give you the monetary gift. The house and car will all be transferred to you. Oh, yes, and I'll be yours in the future. With that, Wei Liao took Jiang Xiaowei's hand. The two of them quickly drove to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get their household registration booklets. When Jiang Xiaowei held the red book in her hand, she wondered if she was dreaming. She had once thought that she would never be able to get married, but she had actually gotten engaged in a flash in a short period of time, got pregnant in a short period of time, and then got married. It was really a shotgun marriage. How melodramatic. Slightly. I'll discuss the wedding date with my parents. You can see if your family has any requests. Also, do you want to hold it locally or abroad? Also, you can decide where to take photos and where to go for the honeymoon. Jiang Xiaowei was still stunned. Oh, right. The most important thing now is to invite my buddies over for a meal to celebrate. Then, Wei Liao immediately called Su Yu, Tang Chuan, and the others. Then, he reminded Jiang Xiaowei, shouldn't you call Huamin over as well? After all, you guys are close. Wait a second, let me think. Jiang Xiaowei held the red book and sat in Wei Liao's black Rolls-Royce Phantom for a long time. Finally, she hesitantly called Huamin. Huamin, come over for dinner in a bit. It's at Xingbin restaurant. I don't think so, I'm pretty tired today. Huamin thought that it was a dinner party, so he wanted to turn it down. To his surprise, the woman added, I've already gotten my marriage certificate. I've arranged a meal for you. Hurry up and come over. After yelling at him, Jiang Xiaowei hung up the phone. Huamin was once again dumbfounded. that woman just found out she was pregnant today, and she got her marriage certificate tonight. This world was too crazy. She couldn't keep up with it. Although he was shocked, Huamin still went. She called Qin Chu. Then, she drove straight to the restaurant. When she entered the private room, Su Yu and the others were already there. When Su Yu saw Huamin, his expression changed. He seemed to be faintly happy. Huamin, come and sit with me. Jiang Xiaowei waved her hand. Chapter 838. Sister slightly, it's not good for you to be so bossy. Our Lord Su hasn't seen the head nurse for a long time, and you're taking away his love. Tang Chuan's mouth was very cheap as he joked around, head nurse. She's a doctor now. You've changed a lot after going abroad, Jiang Xiaowei laughed. Oh. Really? She's a doctor now, congratulations. Tang Chuan clenched his fists. Thank you. How come I feel like the world has changed when I went abroad? Wei Liao is suddenly a father and a husband, and Huamin is a doctor. Lord Su, what about you? Didn't you give me a surprise? What kind of surprise do you want? How about I dip my whip in wax tonight? Su Yu looked at Tang Chuan. Ha ha ha, I don't have that kind of taste. They chatted and laughed as Wei Liao entered the private room after ordering. There were only 5 people in total, but the dishes were sumptuous. Xingbin restaurant was owned by the Wei family and run by Wei Ying, the 3rd son of the Wei family. Business was good, and the dishes were authentic. It was Huamin's first time here. Congratulations to the 2 of you. Come, let's have a drink. Tang Chuan raised his glass. Su Yu also raised his glass. Slightly will be fine with mineral water, Wei Liao said with a smile. Just then, Huamin slowly said, I'll have some mineral water too. What's going on? Are you pregnant too? Tang Chuan said without thinking. When he said this, Su Yu's hand that was holding the wine glass visibly trembled. Then, everyone's gaze fell on Huamin. Huamin immediately waved his hand and explained, No, I had a fever yesterday, and today I took cephalosporin anti-inflammatory medicine. I can't drink. Oh, I see. Tang Chuan nodded. I'll drink it for you. Seeing that Huamin's glass was already full, Su Yu directly took it and finished it in one gulp. Lord Su, why are you drinking for her? You don't even have a relationship with her, Tang Chuan teased. Can't I be thirsty? Su Yu retorted proudly. If that's what you want to say, then drink the 3 of us as well. Fuck you. After Su Yu finished cursing, everyone laughed. Su Yu looked at Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei. The 2 of you are really amazing. You really know how to make things difficult. It hasn't been long, and you've already made my nephew. Not bad. Of course. I'm not convinced by anyone but young Master Wei. Tang Chuan also laughed. Go away, don't make fun of me. Wei Liao smiled as he put his arm around Jiang Xiaowei's shoulder. Huamin also said, Since you've gotten your marriage certificate, you're husband and wife. You must get along well and love each other. This is a promise for life. Of course. I'll hang myself on Jiang Xiaowei for the rest of my life. Wei Liao joked, If you dare to change trees, I'll break your dick. Jiang Xiaowei was very domineering. Everyone burst out in laughter again. Wei Ying had spent a lot of money on more than 30 dishes. To be honest, she didn't like Jiang Xiaowei before, thinking that she was a green tea bitch who wanted to climb up the social ladder. Later, she realized that Wei Ying was a very domineering and intelligent woman. Gradually, Wei Ying changed her mind. When she pushed open the door to the private room, she smiled and said, Second brother, second sister-in-law, you guys eat first. Call me if it's not enough. Big brother Su Yu, big brother Tang Chuan, call me if it's not enough. You've gotten prettier, Tang Chuan said with a smile. Big brother Tang Chuan, you've always been a sweet talker. Ha! Why does this sister look so familiar? She's... Wei Ying had been to GK's 30-year anniversary party, so she found Huamin familiar. Among the 5 people, she hadn't seen Huamin before. Chapter 839. This is my good friend, Huamin, Jiang Xiaowei introduced. A young lady from GK. Wei Ying suddenly remembered. Huamin, this is Wei Liao's little sister, Wei Ying, Jiang Xiaowei introduced. Hello. Huamin nodded slightly. Wow. You look so elegant. Wei Ying was well informed and knew how to talk. After greeting them, Wei Ying went downstairs. After 2 hours of eating, everyone left. Tang Chuan suggested that they go to Seductive Fox, but Huamin stood up and said, "You guys go ahead, I'm not going. I haven't been feeling well lately and feel tired. I'll go home first." Okay, go home and rest. Jiang Xiaowei patted Huamin's shoulder. I'll walk you downstairs. It was rare for Su Yu to see Huamin, so he didn't care what other people thought of him and insisted. Before Huamin could refuse, he walked ahead of him. Why do I feel like... Lord Su still can't forget Huamin. It's not what you think, it's what we all think. Wei Liao shook his head helplessly. Are you cold? Su Yu looked at Huamin and asked. No. Huamin shook his head. You don't look well. Are you okay? Do you want me to drive you home? It's okay, I can drive myself, Huamin politely refused. Then, Su Yu watched as Huamin got into his car. He reversed the car and drove off in his Audi R8. Worried, Su Yu drove his Ferrari and followed Huamin from a distance. It was about 3 to 4 cars away. Su Yu didn't leave until Huamin safely arrived at Imperial Park. Huamin saw everything clearly from the rearview mirror. There were less than 10 red Ferraris in this city. Su Yu's license plate was so obvious, ending with 8. How could she not know? The truth was, she was touched by Su Yu's actions. But even so, she couldn't reciprocate. She already had Qin Chu, so she couldn't fall in love with anyone else. When Huamin got home, Qin Chu wasn't home yet. She picked up her phone and made a call. Honey, are you still home? I'm on the road. Oh, okay. Are you done eating? Yes, I just got home too. Have you eaten? Do you want me to? No, I ate. I ate. Then, the two hung up. Huamin called his mother again. She said that Jixin was in a good mood today. He wasn't as depressed as he was yesterday. Huamian felt a lot more relieved. 20 minutes later, Qin Chu opened the door upstairs. Honey, is your passport at home? It's in the drawer, Huamin replied. Huamin got her passport when she was 17. It was valid for 10 years. At the time, she was planning to go to the States with Qin Chu, but they didn't go. So, her passport was left at the bottom of the drawer. All these years, she never had the chance to go abroad. Qin Chu went upstairs and took Huamin's passport down. Come with me. Where to? Huamin froze. The Maldives. Huamin was shocked when he heard this, the Maldives. Now? What kind of joke was this? Honey, wait a minute, is it okay if you don't have a visa? Don't we have to apply for a visa in advance? The Maldives is a landing visa, Qin Chu replied as he walked. But I still have to go to work, what about the hospital? I already asked President Wu for 5 days off for you. Oh my god, 5 days. Huamin was going crazy. But I'm in too much of a hurry to leave. My swimsuit, dress, and vacation glasses and hats. Yang is ready, he's at the airport. Oh my god, how long did you plan this, Mr. Qin? I decided 3 hours ago. Okay, you win. Huamin was speechless. How could Mr. Qin be so willful when he was so rich? They first flew from Sea City to Ak City because there was a direct flight from Ak City to Malé, the capital of Indonesia. He said it so casually, as if he was buying groceries. Huamin felt like she had enough surprises today. However, she didn't expect to be shocked again at the airport. Jixin, why are you here? Brother-in-law said he's taking me to the Maldives, Jixin replied adorably. Oh my god, are we going to a tour group? Huamin looked at Qin Chu again, dumbfounded. Chapter 840. Huamian was just joking, but she didn't expect it to become true. Huamin originally thought that it would be just her and Qin Chu, but not only did she see Jixin at the airport, but she also saw Jixin. There was also an 8-person film crew, including a stylist and a cameraman. Most importantly, there were 4 bodyguards. So, this time, there were actually 15 people going to the Maldives. Mr. Rich Qin was extremely generous. He chartered a private jet to Ak City, then another private jet from Ak City to Malé, the capital of the Maldives. Finally, he transferred from Malé to Paradise Island. It took him 11 hours to get there, and he was speechless. However, the good thing was that they were on a luxurious private jet. The seats were super big, so they could lie down even if they were tired. It was very comfortable. It was Jixin's first time traveling abroad, so he was very excited the entire time. Sis, is the Maldives in every woman's heart? Jixin asked playfully as he sat across from Huamin on the plane. I think so, who wouldn't like such a romantic place? Huamin was a woman who loved the sea, but she never dared to dream of a paradise like the Maldives. Sea City was also a coastal city, but it was inland. The seawater was gray, unlike the blue sky and light blue on the screensaver. Therefore, an iconic island like the Maldives had become a place that women all over the world yearned for. However, because the journey was long and expensive, Huamin never thought about it. Qin Chu had mentioned it before, but because they were too busy, they didn't have time to come. This time, Qin Chu suddenly decided to go on a trip like this. For Huamin, it was sudden and full of surprises. She liked all the surprises that Mr. Qin created because Mr. Qin knew her too well. Qin Chu's decision this time wasn't sudden either. After they got married, they didn't even take wedding photos, and they didn't have a wedding either. It had always been a regret in his heart. Huamin seemed to be constantly thinking about the child, and she even went to the hospital to do a checkup. He was very sad. He wanted to relieve Huamin's stress and stop her from thinking too much. He also wanted Jixin, who was heartbroken, to calm down. In the end, Qin Chu decided to put down his work and take 5 days to go on a trip like this. They say that the Maldives will sink in 50 years because of the rising sea. I don't know if it's true or not, but I can die without regrets. Jixin sighed. Ha, how old are you? You're only 19. Please, don't always say things that make people think that you're an old man. Huamian held a glass of juice and looked at her brother. Qin Chu was busy during the flight. Although there was no internet, he could turn on his tablet. Huamian and Jixin only chatted occasionally with each other. When it be time, it was time, they had a mean. After a bumpy ride, they finally, Paradise Island was an island that many people liked because it was clean, beautiful, and had a nice name. Therefore, Chin Chu booked 4 days and 3 nights and spent the next few days on this small island. The moment they landed on the island, everyone was amazed, except for Chin Chu. He didn't seem to be too excited under normal circumstances. "It's so beautiful, oh my god. I can't believe there's such a sea," Jishin exclaimed. "It's definitely God's son," Huamin said. This was based on the most popular sentence on the internet, which said that the Maldives was a drop of God's tear on earth. Therefore, Huamian was a super talented person. She was able to express such a literary sentence in plain language. Chapter 841. She had never seen such a surreal sea in her 24 years of life. The water was so clear that she could see the bottom, and all kinds of small fish swam in the shallows, as if they weren't afraid of humans. The sky was strangely blue, as if an artist accidentally spilled his ink. Clouds floated in the sky not far away like cotton candy. It was hard to imagine a scene like this if one didn't see it with their own eyes. Even though the sun was about to set, it was still so irresistibly mesmerizing. The photography team and bodyguards behind them all took out their phones to take pictures and post them on WeChat. Jishin couldn't help but take out his phone and take pictures like crazy. Then, he shouted at Huamin, "Sis, don't move, I'll take one for you." Huamin turned around and smiled slightly. Jishin took a picture and realized that his sister's picture was so beautiful. "President Chin, everyone is probably tired. Let's go back to our rooms and get some rest. Dinner will be ready soon," the casual female assistant said. Chin Chu nodded. Then, he held Huamin's hand and walked to the most luxurious floating house. On the wide bed, there was a heart made of roses, and in the middle was a swan folded with a white towel. On the table was a teardrop-shaped vase with heavenly fragrant lilies inside. All in all, this place was full of romance and surprises. "Do you like it like this?" Chin Chu asked as he gently hugged Huamin. "Don't mention it. I came here to take a look and realized that we're not even in the sea. At most, it's a muddy lake." Upon hearing Huamin's complaint, Chin Chu couldn't help but laugh. "You must be tired. Go take a shower first, we'll rest for a bit." "Okay." Huamin nodded. Then, she turned around and went into the bathroom to take a warm bath. There was even rose essential oil in the water. The service was amazing. When she walked out in her bathrobe, she was very shy, because, logically speaking, something would happen between the two of them after they took a shower and were alone. Huamin thought that Mr. Chin wouldn't be able to control himself and would push her down. However, as soon as she came out, she was dumbfounded. Mr. Chin was probably exhausted. After changing into beach shorts and a white t-shirt, he fell asleep on the bed. His breathing was very light, and his eyelashes were beautiful. Huamin's favorite thing to see Chin Chu sleep. It was quiet and beautiful. Huamin that she couldn't control herself. Along the way, Huamian and Jishin ate, drank, and slept when they were tired. Chin Chu, on the other hand, wasn't as relaxed. After they got off the plane, he t-test. Now, he could have a goods. Of SSSS, S's sleep, S's, SSSS, S sleep, S, ofs, SSS, S, all the houses were made of wood and were built on water. Therefore, Huamin's feet touched the water as she sat on the steps. The warm water wrapped around her white feet, and her heart was at peace like never before. Because Chin Chu booked the entire island, other than the staff, there were no tourists. Looking at the blue sky and white clouds, and listening to the cries of seagulls, Huamin's mood was really lifted. Although she wanted to keep a low profile, she still wanted to take a picture and post it on her WeChat moments. She didn't take a selfie. Instead, she took a picture of the distant sea and posted it. The caption read, "May my heart be as peaceful as the sea." The location was automatically displayed, Maldives Paradise Island. Now, it was like a bomb. Aw. You heartless person, I can't believe you went to the Maldives without telling anyone. Zhu Lingling had just gotten off the plane and was about to take a shower and sleep when she saw Huamin's, Hateful's photo. I got on the plane and didn't know I was coming. It was all arranged by Mr. Qin, Huamin replied with a smile. I'm so jealous. Why is Mr. Qin so nice? Why don't I have anyone to take me there? You can come with Gao Ran. Come on, it's hard for him to even ask for a day off. It's not realistic for him to come with me to the Maldives. To her surprise, as soon as Zhu Lingling finished complaining, Gao Ran replied, if I go with you, will you livestream yourself eating shit? Chapter 842. Pfft. Upon seeing this, Huamin almost spat out his coke. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling, could they not be so funny? Why wasn't there anyone normal around her? She originally thought that Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Liao were normal. However, she later found out that they were the cliched type. They got engaged, got pregnant, and got married without any warning. Huamin was shocked, a couple with a poisonous tongue and a shocking couple. From the looks of it, she and Mr. Qin were the only normal couple. Just then, someone else commented, oh, the girl went on her honeymoon. Hua Xiqian commented. Huamin was too lazy to reply, the night was long, and Hua Xiqian was annoyed to see the Hua family at home. Therefore, he decided to go out and drink. Suyu and Tang Chuan also came out to relieve their boredom. They bumped into each other and booked a private room together. Hua Xiqian laughed as he held his phone. This girl has always been so low-key. She even went on her honeymoon without telling anyone. Suyu didn't say anything and just drank quietly. Where did she go? Tang Chuan was the one who wanted to talk. The Maldives. Mr. Rich Qin chartered an entire island. My sister went to enjoy life. Hua Xiqian's words had a hint of jealousy in them. The Maldives is great. Qin Chu has good taste. Tang Chuan also liked to go to the Maldives and went there every year. Every year, different women would go on vacation. Wei Liao once teased him, saying that he was like a human trafficker. Really? It's just a small island in Indonesia. The Indonesians are very anti-Chinese. Suyu said sourly. Oh, Lord Su, when did you become so patriotic? You speak as if you have never been there before. Tang Chuan laughed. I'll go to Tahiti in the future. That's beautiful, Suyu said to himself. Actually, in his heart, he wanted to fly to the Maldives. If he and Huamin were to go there, they would probably die of happiness, right? Suyu stared blankly with a glass of wine in his hand. Qin Chu only slept for 2 hours before he woke up. Then, the two of them changed into couples' outfits and went to the beach for a barbecue. 15 people sat around a big table. It was very lively. Dozens of waiters were serving them. Jixin had a surprisingly good appetite and kept eating. He was still a child after all. Sis, try this octopus meatball. It's so delicious and authentic. Jixin was fascinated by everything he ate and didn't mention his breakup. Honey, we brought this burden on this trip. Is he just here to eat? Huamin looked at Qin Chu with a smile. There are already a lot of burdens this time. One more doesn't matter, Qin Chu replied. The other assistants and bodyguards all fell silent. Okay, they were all burdens for their boss and his wife. There were really a lot of burdens, he's joking. Let's eat and drink to our heart's content. Huamin covered his mouth and looked at everyone. What's the plan for tomorrow? Qin Chu quietly looked at his assistant and asked. The female assistant shrewdly took out a schedule and placed it in front of Chin Chu. Sir, this is the plan for you and Mrs. Chin. Tomorrow morning, after breakfast, around 9:30 a.m., we will film one set. Then, we will have lunch and take a nap. In the afternoon, we will film 2 sets. One of them will be on the cruise, so we can go out to sea. The day after tomorrow, we will film 3 sets. Okay. Chin Chu looked at the schedule. It wasn't too rushed and was quite reasonable. Chin Chu nodded. Huamin knew that everyone had worked hard this time. They had to lug a few large suitcases, which contained the outfits that he and Chin Chu would use for the photo shoot. Basically, they didn't bring anything with them. Everything was arranged by their assistants and bodyguards. This was a godlike experience. The local Indonesians weren't as bad as Chin Chu thought. They only asked for tips because this place relied on tourism to begin with. They didn't have any other sources of income, so this was normal. They were very friendly. When they had a barbecue by the beach, an Indonesian barbecue chef even sang and barbecued the food. The atmosphere was very good. Everyone had a good time eating. After dinner, Chin Chu held Huamin's hand and walked by the beach, enjoying the sea breeze. They wore couple outfits with short sleeves. They were all white and had Disney Mickey Mouse printed on them. Huamin was a Disney fan. Most of these outfits were carefully selected by his assistant according to his taste buds. Honey. Huamin said softly. Yeah. Chin Chu tilted his head and looked at Huamin. Chapter 843. Thank you for bringing me to such a beautiful place. Thank you for bringing me to eat such delicious food. Thank you for bringing me such a big surprise. Huamin thanked Chin Chu 3 times in a row. She wasn't being pretentious, she really wanted to thank him. Even though he was so busy, he was still able to plan all this to make Chin Chu feel so touched. After many men got married, regardless of whether they were busy or not, they didn't want to waste time on their wives. This was because they felt that since she was already his and couldn't run away, there was no need for them to be so nice to her. However, Chin Chu was the exact opposite. After they got married and started living together, he only treated Huamin better and better. There was only the best, nothing better. He doted on her so much that even Huamin's mother and brother felt that he was spoiling Huamin too much. However, such a man was always high and mighty in the eyes of others. He was a cold and indifferent king. He didn't give his smile to anyone, and he was stingy with his gentleness. Only Huamin could see his funny side. As long as he was outside, he would always wear that cold and arrogant mask. He only gave all of his love to Huamin. After Chin Chu heard what she said, he looked at her gently. Then, he said softly, "Thank you for being willing to be my wife. Thank you for betting your life on me. Thank you for giving me the chance to take care of you in this life." Chin Chu also thanked her 3 times. Huamin was extremely touched. She tiptoed and hugged Chin Chu tightly. Then, she kissed him. Late at night, the Maldives was brightly lit. The seaside was another beautiful scene. The sound of waves crashing against each other could be heard. The 2 of them kissed passionately under the night sky, as if they were the only 2 people in the world. It was so quiet and so beautiful. When they returned to the floating house, it was already past 9 p.m. The 2 of them took a shower, then, they lay on the bed. Chin Chu hugged Huamin. "Honey, it's such a beautiful night, don't you want to do something?" "Yes." "Honey, can you give me a massage?" "Just a massage." Huamin was slightly disappointed. "Then what else do you want?" Chin Chu deliberately asked her. "No." Okay, hurry up and climb up. I'll give you a massage." Chin Chu turned over and lay on his stomach on the bed. His sturdy back was exposed, and his perfect figure was on full display. There were technicians on the island, but Huamin would never allow another woman to touch her husband. She pretended to give Qin Chu a massage, however, rather than calling it a massage, it was more like teasing, because her fingers were very light, they were moving around his back. It was a blatant provocation. "Honey, are you sure you want to give me a massage?" Qin Chu asked with a smile. "Mr. Qin, do you need any special service?" Huamin asked as he leaned against Qin Haodong's back. "What are the special services?" "Including anything you want." "Really?" Qin Chu asked. "Of course." Huamin was ecstatic that she succeeded in seducing Qin Haodong. "Okay, then can you pour me a cup of coffee, with ice, thank you." "Fuck off." Seeing that Qin Chu was so unromantic, Huamin flipped out. It was so obvious, okay? Therefore, she angrily got off him and tried to get off the bed. However, Qin Chu grabbed her, dragged her onto the bed, and pinned her down. "I was joking." "Are you really mad?" Qin Chu laughed. "How can you joke like that? I was so proactive and you asked me to pour you a cup of coffee. I'm not a maid." Huamin felt wronged. She pouted and looked adorable. Qin Chu quickly coaxed her, "Then to make it up to you, let's do it all night, okay?" Huamin was speechless. Before she could protest, she completely melted under Qin Chu's gentleness. Chapter 844. The next morning, when Huamin woke up, his back was sore. Mr. Qin really did make it up to her. He didn't sleep much the entire night, as if he was tormented. She even suspected that he was on drugs. He was so energetic. "Honey, you're awake." When Huamin woke up, it was already 9 a.m. Qin Chu had already video-called HQ for a morning meeting and went for a run. "Yeah." Huamin was still sleepy. "Then let's go eat breakfast." "Okay." Huamin really regretted messing with Mr. Qin. Now he was in trouble, even walking felt like his legs were sore. More importantly, he couldn't complain. Who could he complain to about something like this? During breakfast, Jixin suddenly said, "Sis, you sent me a WeChat message yesterday." "Really?" Huamin didn't react much. She gave Huang Yu a chance and wanted to help her, but Huang Yu didn't want it. What else could she say? Yeah, she said she doesn't want to work at the hospital anymore. She wants to leave and move to the south with her parents. Oh. Huamin nodded. She also asked me where I plan to work after graduation, Jixin said as he chewed on his bread. Then what did you say? I told her that I'm going to intern at my brother-in-law's company, but she didn't reply. I don't know what she wants. Does she want to get back together with me? What about you? Do you want to? Huamin looked at Jixin and asked. Sis, to be honest, of course I do. She's my first girlfriend, and I cherish our relationship. If she still wants to be with me, then I don't mind. Even if she betrayed you? Huamin asked faintly. She probably has her own difficulties. Jixin was still too naive and thought of everything too simply. You and Huang Yu. I don't think it's possible. Don't even think about it. Go to school and work hard after you graduate. A man should act like a man. Don't just focus on love. Huamin lectured. I know, sis. Jixin lowered his head and continued to eat when he saw that his sister was about to give another long lecture. Qin Chu never interfered with the matters between the two of them. After all, this was a private matter. After breakfast, Jixin wandered around the island while Huamin and Qin Chu changed their clothes, put on their makeup, and began taking their wedding photos. She knew that taking photos was tiring, but she didn't know it was so tiring that she had to take 70 to 80 photos of a single set of clothes. Fortunately, the team members were very supportive. They did everything quickly and did not waste any time at all. During the break, there were people holding umbrellas and people passing them water. This service was really unparalleled. A young lady, if you're tired, we can rest for a while more. What do you think of my expression just now? Isn't her smile very fake? I'm really afraid that I won't get a good shot. No, I think it's very good. You'll know when we fix the samples tonight. Just then, she received a WeChat message on her phone. Hwa-min opened it and saw that it was from Ni Yang. Because when they went abroad, their phones all had international roaming, so the internet wasn't restricted. Sister Hwa-min. I heard that you and President Chin went to the Maldives. Yeah. When are you coming back? In 2 or 3 days. Do you need something? Yeah, there's something I want to talk to you about. Okay, I'll come find you when I get back. She put down the phone and wondered what it was. That kid, Ni Yang, wouldn't look for her so easily. Could it be that he found out about her relationship with Xia Wan and Shui Shui? After a whole day of shooting, Hwa-min was exhausted. She soaked herself in the bathtub and refused to come out. When her phone rang, it was Chin Chu who brought it to her. It was a strange and unfamiliar number. Hello. Hwa-min, it's me. A woman's voice sounded very familiar. Chapter 845. Xiaoxue. Hwa-min immediately recognized Wu Xiaoxue's voice. I'm really sorry. I should have called you earlier, but after I came here, I couldn't get used to it. So I was in a hurry and had to go through a lot of complicated procedures every day. How about now? Are you done? Yeah, I'm done. How are you? I'm fine. How about you? I'm fine too. The air here is good. My parents are here to help me take care of the baby. I plan to go to work soon. That's great. I heard about you from President Wu. I'm really happy for you. I also heard from Uncle Wu that you're a doctor now. Congratulations. Thank you. Ning Ziyuan, have you seen him recently? Wu Xiaoxue suddenly asked. Yeah, he came to Southside to see me a while ago. He asked me to lend him 100,000 yuan, but I didn't. Don't lend it to him, Wu Xiaoxue reminded him again. What's wrong? Do you know what he's doing now? Hwa-min felt like Wu Xiaoxue knew more than he did. He's still with He-Man. They're both addicted to gambling and lost a lot. Ning Ziyuan's house wasn't even rented out. It was mortgaged. He's a useless person now. No matter how much money you give him, he'll lose it all. How did that happen? Hwa-min was a little surprised. It's because He-Man became like this after she got together with him. I knew nothing good would happen when she hung out with him. Before I left the country, I hired a private investigator. He-Man is also a gambler and owes a lot of money. They seem to be loan sharks too. They've been hiding in the colored steel house in the civilian district. It's so despicable. When we got divorced, he even threatened me that if I didn't compensate him, he wouldn't sign my divorce papers. Did you give him any? Hwa-min was a little worried. Of course not. I'm not that stupid. I'll give him whatever he wants. Our family paid for the house and the car. We even paid for the wedding banquet. Why should I give it to him? Seriously, how did things come to this? Forget it, it's all my fault. I won't tell Xinyue that her father is such a person. We don't plan to go back either. Upon hearing Wu Xiaoxue's words, Hwa-min felt quite bad. Uncle and Auntie Ning came looking for me before. They brought a lot of eggs and said they wanted to see their granddaughter, but they didn't know you were overseas. Ning Ziyuan's sins have implicated his elderly parents. It's really disappointing. This is fate. No one can be blamed. Okay, the baby is crying, I'll call you back. Alright. After hanging up the phone, Huamin closed his eyes and thought about life. In fact, she felt a little guilty at first because she felt that if she hadn't broken up with Ning Ziyuan, perhaps his life wouldn't be so miserable. But after thinking about it, even if she married him, he would still choose this rotten path. So, was she going to end up like Wu Xiaoxue? Therefore, she couldn't say that she harmed Ning Ziyuan. She could only say that Ning Ziyuan had a good hand and played it badly. If he had been a good man after marrying Wu Xiaoxue, wouldn't it have been great if he had 2 doctors, a happy family, and a baby? In other words, if she had gone to the States with Qin Chu, Ning Ziyuan wouldn't have appeared. So, everything that happened now wasn't man-made. It was all predestined. What are you thinking about? Why are you spacing out? Qin Chu walked into the bathroom. I was thinking about the past. Huamin was obviously not in a good mood when she said this. I thought you were thinking about why I was so energetic last night. Did I take medicine? Qin Chu teased her on purpose. Huamin immediately covered her face with her hands. My back and legs are still sore, Huamin complained shyly. I have a way to help you, Qin Chu said mysteriously. What way? Huamin always felt that every time Mr. Qin laughed, he would say something shocking. Chapter 846. As it turned out, her instincts were right, because what Qin Chu said was, let's do it again tonight and fight poison with poison. You'll be fine by tomorrow morning. Fuck you, Huamin wanted to cuss. They had only done it once tonight, and her entire body was about to fall apart. How could she be fine? Did he really think she was a 3-year-old kid? Time always flew by on vacation. They spent 3 mesmerizing nights in the Maldives and 4 incredibly beautiful days. They took several stunning wedding photos, went out to sea, and went on a cruise. It was a luxurious life. Before they left, Huamin was still reluctant to leave and kept looking back. Honey, do you like it here? Emichim, Huamin nodded obediently. Then let's come here once a year, okay? Qin Chu lovingly patted her head. Okay. After they got on the plane, Huamin kept looking down. Looking down from the sky, the beautiful Paradise Island was like a crystal-clear teardrop in the ocean. It was breathtakingly beautiful. The Maldives was a place that everyone wanted to visit a second time after their first visit. Huamin was no exception. If they had time in the future, they really wanted to come here a few more times. After more than 10 hours of flight and 2 transfers, they finally returned to Sea City. Qin Chu took a nap on the plane and went straight to GK after they got off. It was already 3 in the afternoon. Huamin and Jixin were driven back to Sky Blessing Court by the company's chauffeur. When they passed by the duty-free shop in X City, Huamin bought a lot of makeup and a jade bracelet for his mother. Yang Meirong was in a great mood when she saw her children return. That night, she cooked more than 10 dishes. Huamin took out his phone and walked to the balcony to call Ni Yang. Sister Huamin. Is it convenient to talk now? I'm back in China. Emichim, I'm reading a script. It's convenient. What's wrong? You seem to be in a hurry to find me. Huamin asked. Recently. I've not been feeling very well. My body has shown some symptoms. I don't know if it's because I've taken too many psychotropic drugs, so I wanted to ask you. Ni Yang rarely went to the hospital for treatment because of his identity. Basically, after knowing Huamin, he had already treated her as his personal doctor. What's the situation? Tell me. It's just that my stomach doesn't feel well. Sometimes, I feel nauseous and weak all over. Why do you look like you're pregnant? And I young, Sister Humin, can't we have a nice chat? Ha, of course. Go on, I'm listening. Humin smiled. Then, my abdomen hurts sometimes. Recently, I often have diarrhea. Did you eat something you shouldn't have? Humin asked. No, I haven't eaten anything lately. I only eat simple rice porridge, but I still feel like this. Then is it indigestion? Do you take medicine to strengthen your stomach? I did, but it didn't work. In fact, it's gotten worse these days. How about this, what's your schedule tomorrow? Tomorrow. I have a scene to shoot in the afternoon. I have the morning off. Come to South Side in the morning. I'll take you for a checkup. Okay. And I young nodded. Okay, then you should go to bed early. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Humin walked to the dining room. Seeing the table full of food, she was so happy that she could die. Mom. You actually bought me crabs. I love you so much. Looking at the dozen or so big crabs on the table, Humin couldn't be happier. Sis. Are you okay? Didn't we eat crabs every day in the Maldives? Haven't you had enough? Aren't you tired of it? No, I can eat seafood for 3 meals a day. It's not a problem. Okay, you win. Xin was speechless. Call Qin Chu and ask him if he's coming back for lunch, Yang Meirong instructed. Okay. When Qin Chu's phone rang, he was in the middle of a meeting in the conference room. The atmosphere was tense. Qin Chu had been in the Maldives for 5 days, and when he came back, he was faced with a huge mess. So, you guys don't have any self-awareness when I'm not here. You guys think you can relax since you're all paid a salary, right? It was Qin Chu's first time scolding the higher-ups. Yang was so scared that he didn't dare to say anything. Chapter 847. President Qin, we tried our best. It's not our fault that we couldn't get the project, the marketing director complained fearlessly. Then is it my fault? Qin Chu asked coldly. The entire room fell silent again. The president was furious. Just then, his phone rang. Everyone looked at their phones with sympathy, wondering which idiot was calling at this time. Surprisingly, when Qin Chu looked down and saw the caller ID, his gaze softened. He picked it up. Honey, my mom's cooking. Are you coming home to eat? No, I'm in a meeting. Okay. I'll pick you up later. Okay. Humin didn't waste any more time and hung up. Qin Chu's gentle tone really made everyone's jaws drop. They looked at each other and finally came to a tacit understanding. It must have been a young lady who called, or else President Qin wouldn't be like this. I'll give you 3 days to clean up your mess. After 3 days, either show me your results or hand in your resignation letters. With that, Qin Chu left with a cold face. All the higher-ups were worried. They always thought that President Qin was easier to talk to than Chairman Qin and treated his employees better. They didn't expect him to be so scary when he lost his temper. Qin Chu didn't like the servility of Chinese people. When the boss was home, they worked hard. When he wasn't home, they slacked off. That wasn't good. Since they were paid well, they had to behave. No boss liked to hire a bunch of idle people for free. After returning to his office, Qin Chu turned on his computer and continued to work. President Qin, here's your coffee. Assistant Yang carefully brought the coffee over. I'll give you a vacation starting tomorrow. Sir, you're not going to fire me, are you? What did I do wrong? Assistant Yang was so scared that his legs turned to jelly. Giving him a vacation out of the blue was too scary. You're thinking too much. It's just that when I was on vacation, you worked overtime almost every day. I saw how hard it was. You're a father and a husband, you have to spend time with your wife and child. Take a week off. It's not considered annual leave, I'm giving you extra time. Come back to work after a week. Thank you, President Chin. Assistant Yang was so excited that he wanted to die. His wife had been depressed and said that she wanted to take the baby home. However, Yang's wife was from the south and went to university in the north, so her family was very far away. Yang was still worried about her bringing the child home alone. Now that the boss had spoken, he was so happy that he almost jumped up. Go ahead. Get off work early today. Then what about you? Yang was worried that the boss would be too busy. I can transfer someone over to help temporarily. Okay, thank you, boss. Call me if you need anything. Little Yang left the company as fast as the wind. Chin Chu sank into his dull work again. Song Yisher had called Chin Chu once. When she learned that he was in the Maldives, she did not say much. At 7 p.m., everyone at GK was still working overtime. Song Yisher drove past and went up to the top floor. President Chin, Miss Song is here, the female secretary in the secretary's office reported over the intercom. Let her in. The reason why Chin Chu had always been kind to Song Yisher was not because of their childhood memories. It was because Uncle Song took special care of him. When I passed by, I saw that your office light was still on at the red light, so I guessed that you were back. Song Yisher smiled. Yeah. How was your vacation in the Maldives? It was great, right? Yes. Chin Chu was still a man of few words. You haven't eaten yet, right? What do you want to eat? I'll go out and buy it for you, Song Yisher said gently. Chapter 848. It's okay, I'm not hungry, Chin Chu immediately refused. Song Yisher felt a little awkward. Then, she asked, where's Huamin? Why don't I see her? She's tired, so she went home to rest. Oh. Speaking of which, I do miss her. Yisher, I'm busy, I don't have time to talk to you. It's okay, I'll sit here for a while. I'm bored anyway. However, Song Yisher had no intention of leaving. She realized that it was getting harder and harder to get close to Chin Chu, especially when Huamin was by his side. Chin Chu's gaze never left Huamin. Therefore, it was rare that Huamin wasn't around today. She wanted to seize the opportunity to spend some time alone with Chin Chu. Even though he felt that he was a little immature, he didn't care too much. Opportunity was the most important thing. The female secretary brought in a cup of coffee and placed it on the coffee table. Miss Song, your coffee. Thank you. Song Yisher then secretly took a photo of Chin Chu and posted it on her WeChat friend circle. When a person is serious about work, their charm will multiply. Some people began to leave comments below. A few socialites who were on good terms with Song Yisher already knew about Chin Chu's feelings. Therefore, they began to fan the flames. Sure, you went to see Prince Charming Chin. Sister sure, you guys are a good match. His wife isn't that great. Prince Charming Chin has no blind spots. I'm not exaggerating. A girl next to Tang Chuan happened to have Song Yisher's WeChat. They added each other at the cocktail party the other day. Song Yisher was very good at social media. Within a month of returning to China, she had already mingled with the upper class and had an excellent reputation. Of course, this had a lot to do with her father, Mayor Song. The daughter of the Song family is so ambitious. She's going to replace Chin Chu, the woman exclaimed. Tang Chuan immediately leaned forward to take a look. then looked at Su Yu and said, "This is what a real mistress looks like." It's already so late at night, but she still posted a photo of the two of them together. I wonder how Huamin will feel when he sees this. Su Yu fiddled with the lighter and didn't say anything. No one knew what he was thinking. "Lord Su, do you want to send a screenshot of the photo to Huamin?" "No. You don't want such a good opportunity." Tang Chuan didn't understand. Since she liked Huamin, why not destroy it? "I won't do such a disgraceful thing." Lord Su replied proudly. Qin Chu didn't know that Song Yisher had posted something on her WeChat moments, and neither did Huamin. However, Hua Xichen knew. He also had Song Yisher's WeChat. Song Yisher is a funny woman, but I'm looking forward to seeing how she and my little sister fight. It'll be a fierce battle. Then, he reached out and spun the globe on his desk with a smile. "I bet 1 yuan that my Mian will win." Huamin had eaten his fill at Sky Blessing Court and was lying on the sofa watching a TV show. Suddenly, he saw Jixin come downstairs. "It's so late, are you going out?" A classmate called me for his birthday," Jixin said as he walked. "Come back early, don't drink too much." "I know, sis. You're as naggy as mom." Then, Jixin opened the door and left in his Bumblebee sports car. Jixin went out again. Yeah, he probably went out with his classmate. Jixin had always been obedient, so Huamin didn't think much of it. 40 minutes later, Huamin received a call from Jixin. He sounded like he was about to cry. "Sis, come quickly. Help me save you." Upon hearing Yu's name, Huamin panicked. Could it be that Jixin didn't go to his classmate, but to Huang Yu? But the people around Huang Yu, Huamin suddenly sat up from the sofa. "Jixin, where are you?" "On the top floor of Sky Domain." "Okay, wait for me." Huamin hurriedly put on his shoes and ran out, not even hearing his mother talk to him. Sky Domain again, that place where good people mix together. Huamin really didn't want to go. He didn't know what happened to Jixin. On the way, Huamin didn't forget to call Qin Chu. "Honey, I think something happened to Jixin. He's on the top floor of Sky Domain. I'm on my way. Come over immediately and remember to bring someone." After saying this, Huamin hung up. Qin Chu also panicked. A place like Sky Domain was like a tiger's den. It was very dangerous for Huamin to go there alone. He wouldn't be as lucky as last time. Chapter 849. Are you going out? Song Yisher asked when she saw Qin Chu get up. Something urgent came up, I have to go now. After saying that, Qin Chu quickly went downstairs. Luckily, when Huamin arrived, Qin Chu arrived as well. He held her hand. "Stay behind me, don't wander off." "Okay." Huamin nodded. When the two of them arrived at the top of the Sky Domain building, they saw a bloody scene. Jixin was beaten to a pulp. He knelt on the ground, his face covered in blood. Huamin was so heartbroken that tears fell from her eyes. "Jixin, sis, help me, save Xiao Yu." Jixin was beaten so badly, but he was still thinking about Huang Yu. Qin Chu looked up and saw Huang Yu sitting on the edge of the rooftop. Her clothes were tattered, as if someone had ripped them apart. 7 or 8 big tattooed men stood there. The man from the other day stepped on Jixin's back. "Ha, bitch, I finally found you. Today, I can finally get my revenge for kicking me that day." The man glared viciously at Huamin. "Don't hurt my brother. Let's talk." "Talk? Why would I talk to you?" After speaking, the man went up and kicked Jixin. Jixin let out a muffled grunt from the kick to his lower abdomen. It must have been excruciating pain. Honey. Huamin was anxious. She held Qin Chu's hand, not knowing what to do. When Qin Chu was by her side, she couldn't keep her cool. Let my brother go. How much money do you want? Ha, do you think you're so great just because you have some money? Pfft. I have money too. I've been in the underworld for years and have more money than you. I don't care about your money. The tattooed man obviously didn't know Qin Chu, nor did he know who he was. Then what do we have to do to make you let him go? It's simple. Get your woman to take off all her clothes and sing "Conquer" for us. Who knows, maybe I'll let him go if I'm happy. After saying that, the burly men burst into laughter. A cold light flashed in Qin Chu's eyes. If you don't want to die, let him go. Don't force me to do it. Huamin held tightly onto the silver needles that she always carried with her. She really wanted to go over and stab that tattooed scumbag to death right now. Paralyze him, don't fucking scare me. There are only two of you. Who's afraid of you? The man smiled indifferently. You. Jixin treats you so well, why did you set him up? Huamin shouted at Huang Yu, who was sitting on the edge of the rooftop. But she didn't turn around, nor did she say anything. Huamin was very angry. She said that she wanted to protect Jixin for his own good. Why did she set up a trap to lure Jixin here? Are you talking to that bitch? Ha, she ate something good and is still having an orgasm. She won't answer you. Sis. You was fed something by them. She's delirious now. Hurry and save her. Jixin yelled with all his might, only then did Huamin realize that Huang Yu ate XX. At this thought, she sucked in a breath of cold air. I can't agree to your demands. You'd better let him go. Otherwise, no one will leave here alive today. Qin Chu said word by word. Every word was so cold and emotionless. Huamin had never seen Qin Chu look so scary. Ha! Kid, are you trying to scare us? Do you think we're that easy to scare? The tattooed man continued to mock Jixin and even put more force on his foot. Qin Chu didn't waste any more time. He reached into his pocket and took out something. Then, he aimed it at the tattooed man. At this moment, everyone was silent. Huamin looked at Qin Chu in shock. He actually had a gun. It was a black gun that exuded a terrifying aura in the night. Brother Wei. This kid has a gun. The others were a little scared. Are you trying to scare me? You think you can save someone with a toy gun? Do you think I'm an idiot? I won't be fooled by you. Before the tattooed man could finish, there was a bang. Qin Chu suddenly pulled the trigger and shot him in the right side of his chest. Immediately, a bloody hole appeared. The tattooed man lowered his head in shock. Looking at his bleeding wound, he couldn't say a word. I don't like to talk nonsense. You have 3 seconds to let him go, or I'll kill you this time. Honey, don't be impulsive. Huamin was a little scared. She wanted to save her brother, but she didn't want Qin Chu to kill anyone. Chapter 850. The tattooed man was just a hooligan and had never seen such a scene. He was so scared that his legs turned to jelly. Huamin took the opportunity to run up and help Jixin up. Qin Chu pointed his gun at the man, his eyes cold. Bro, you were shot. The thugs were scared out of their wits. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and take me to the hospital. The tattooed man and 6 or 7 thugs ran away, but Qin Chu didn't chase after them. Because after they went downstairs, they were taken away by Gao Ran. He believed that Gao Ran would take care of the shooting. Jixin, how are you? Huamin felt bad for his brother. Sis, help me check on you. Jing Jixin was covered in wounds, but he still cared about Huang Yu. Huamin turned around and grabbed Yu's arm, unexpectedly. Her body leaned forward, and she jumped down. Laughing, she shouted, I finally have wings. I can fly now. Because she was too fast, Huamin only managed to grab one of her arms. Then, she jumped down and hung on the rooftop, almost pulling Huamin down with her. She was too strong and too heavy, Mian. Qin Chu was so scared that his face turned pale. He immediately ran over and hugged Huamin tightly. Jixin also quickly got up and helped Qin Chu pull her up. In the end, the two men used their strength together and pulled Huang Yu, who almost jumped off the rooftop. Just now, if Huamin was one step slower, Huang Yu would have been smashed into pieces. Even the gods wouldn't be able to save her. Luckily, Huamin reacted fast enough and held her back. You, look at me. Jixin kept shaking Huang Yu. However, her eyes were dull, and she didn't react at all. She just smiled foolishly and drooled. It looked especially terrifying. Huamin comforted him. Her brain is still under the influence of drugs. It's useless for you to shout. She needs to go to the hospital to get a sedative and wait until she wakes up. Then, Huamin and Qin Chu took Huang Yu and Jixin to the first hospital. This time, Jixin was beaten up even more badly than the last time. Luckily, he wasn't seriously injured. It was just a superficial wound, so it was a little more painful. On the other hand, Huang Yu's test results were more shocking. Huamin, come out for a moment. The doctor mysteriously called her to the side. Because they were all colleagues at the first hospital and Huang Yu was an employee here, they were familiar with each other. What's the situation with Huang Yu now? How are you? Huamian asked worriedly. We've already given him a sedative. His emotions have stabilized, but... The female doctor paused. Dr. Wang, what do you want to say? Her urine test was positive because there's something similar to Bingdu in her body. We'll have to wait for the test results to come out. But there's something else that really shocked me. What? Huamin had a bad feeling about this. We found 3 types of Bingdu in her lower body. We're not sure if she was coerced, willing, or drugged. I suggest that we call the police and let them investigate. What? Huamin was dumbfounded. The results of the doctor's report showed that Huang Yu had sex with at least 3 men. This was simply too outrageous. Huamian guessed that after being drugged, her mind was being controlled. Those scumbags, they can die 1,000 times over. Huamin cursed with tears in his eyes. Qin Chu saw that Huamin was in a bad mood. He walked over and patted her shoulder to comfort her. Sis, how's you? What did the doctor say? Jixin cared a lot about Huang Yu. First, tell me what happened at Tianyu before I arrived. Huamin stared into Jixin's eyes and asked. Chapter 851. I was afraid that you would be in danger, so I went. When I got there, I saw them dancing in a private room with several men surrounding you. Her clothes were in tatters, and she was in a mess. I tried to take her away, but she didn't listen to me. Then, the tattooed man hit me, and they dragged me to the rooftop. Then, I saw you trying to jump off the building. I wanted to stop them, but they hit me again. That's why I called you. Jixin described everything that happened that night, word for word. Huamin listened quietly. Sis, how is you? She was sedated and is asleep now. Her life is not in danger. That's good, that's good. Jixin felt a lot better after hearing what his sister said. But, her urine test came back positive. I knew it, those scumbags, hurt you and fed her those bad things. I'm going to kill them. Jixin turned around to leave after speaking, but Huamin pulled him back. Come back, they've been arrested. Your brother-in-law has arranged everything. Don't worry. Jixin immediately looked at Qin Chu when he heard this. Qin Chu nodded, indicating that Huamin was right. He wasn't that impulsive. He stopped and stood beside Huamin. The test results also revealed something shocking, Huamin said slowly. What is it? Jixin looked up at his sister with his clear eyes, looking a little confused. Huamin didn't have the heart to tell Jixin the truth, but Jixin was an adult. She couldn't hide it from him forever, therefore, she decided to tell him, even if it was a blow. We found more than 3 types of steroids in her body. That's impossible. Jixin said without hesitation. I can't believe it either, but it's true. You have to accept it. I don't believe it. You isn't that kind of person. She's not. She's a good girl. Jixin was obviously shocked. He yelled loudly, not caring if the other person was his sister or not. I know she's a good girl, but this is the result of the test. I suspect that she's under the influence of drugs. Bastards, I'm going to kill them. Jixin rushed down like a madman. Qin Chu immediately ran up to Jixin and held him in his arms. Brother-in-law, let go of me. Jixin, don't be impulsive. They've already been arrested and brought to the police. I won't let them get out. Why are you doing this to you? Why is that? That night, Jixin cried and cried, and his tears, ants. When he was in the Maldives, he was happy that Huang Yu had sent him a WeChat message. But he simply couldn't accept this result. That night, Jixin didn't leave the ICU. He watched over Huang Yu the entire time. Huamin was worried about his brother and didn't want to leave. Qin Chu quietly stayed with her. In the end, she was so sleepy that she slept on Qin Chu's shoulder for a while. 6 a.m., Huang Yu woke up. The first thing she saw was Jixin, and her expression was complicated. What happened to me? Her voice was weak. Don't you remember what happened yesterday? Jixin asked softly. I remember yesterday. I drank a lot of alcohol. They made me drink a lot of alcohol and a strange kind of alcohol. I felt dizzy after drinking it. Then. I remember dreaming that I had wings and wanted to fly. They didn't give you alcohol. They gave you drugs, Huamin said slowly. What? Huang Yu froze. Sis. Jixin didn't seem to want Huang Yu to know about this. We can't hide the truth. She has the right to know. Senior sister, what happened to me? Why are you all here? Huang Yu didn't seem to remember what happened after that. She also didn't remember calling Jixin. Chapter 852. Just as Huamin was about to speak, Jixin interrupted, you were set up by them. They drugged your drink and made you delirious. I received a call from you, so I came over with my sister and took you to the hospital. You stayed there the whole night. Then, what about Yuan Ziwei and the others? Huang Yu asked. Huamin guessed that the tattooed man was the Yuan Ziwei that Huang Yu mentioned. So he continued, they were arrested on suspicion of kidnapping and intentional assault. Ha! No, you can't arrest them. No. Huang Yu seemed very agitated. What's wrong? Jixin didn't know what to do. Those people have accomplices. Their accomplices will take revenge on me. They will go to my house and hurt my parents. Why are you meddling in other people's business? Who asked you to come? Who asked you to call the police to arrest him? Huang Yu's mental state was very unstable. She kept struggling to get out of bed, ignoring the 4 in her hand. Huamin's heart sank when he heard her say that he was nosy. Was this still the lively and cute little junior sister from before? Was she still the good colleague who was willing to stand up for him when he was framed? Was she still that cheerful, carefree, and innocent little girl who was always laughing all day long? Why did it feel like she had changed? You, what are you talking about? Do you know what those people would have done if my sister and brother-in-law didn't come? They almost killed you. Jixin looked at Huang Yu in disbelief. That's my business. What does it have to do with you? Jing Jixin, we've already broken up. Who do you think you are? Hurry up and leave. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You were drugged with Bing last night and went crazy. If Jixin didn't come to find you in time, you probably would have jumped off the building. He's worried about you and cares about you. Don't be so ungrateful, you. Huamin said angrily to her. I didn't die, did I? Who needs your help? Senior sister, I've already told you, don't worry about my matters. Those people are very scary, they will pester me for the rest of my life. My family will be in danger. This was what Huang Yu repeated over and over again. He didn't know if Huang Yu was frightened by those people or something else. In short, her mood was very unstable. Xiao Yu. How could you do this? My sister is just being nice. Jixin was speechless. Who wants your kindness? Leave quickly, I don't want to have anything to do with you. If he knows that I'm in contact with you, he'll beat me to death. With that, Huang Yu pushed Jixin and Huamin out of the ward. Huamin was completely speechless, Jixin was also dumbfounded. He didn't know why Huang Yu had changed so much in just 20 days. She was like a completely different person from before. It was as if he had a split personality. Sis, you guys should leave first. You and brother-in-law haven't slept all night. Jixin said in a haggard voice. What about you? Huamin looked at his younger brother with heartache. I'll stay here and watch over her. She's not very stable, so I want to take care of her. Jixin still couldn't let go of Huang Yu. Okay, be careful. She knew that she couldn't persuade Jixin, so she just let him be. Sis, don't tell Mom about this. If she asks, just tell her that I'm at school. Okay. Huamin nodded and then went downstairs with Qin Chu. It was already 6:40 a.m. Honey, let's go eat breakfast. I'm not hungry. I don't have much of an appetite. After what happened, Huamin completely lost his appetite. Then don't eat so much. Just treat it as eating with me, okay? Qin Chu carefully coaxed him. Finally, the two of them went to a Hong Kong-style breakfast place. They ordered crab roe buns, vegetable congee, and milk tea. You has changed so much. I don't know why, Huamin said gloomily. Don't think too much about it. I'll ask Gao Ran later. We'll know once he does the first check, Qin Chu comforted him. Okay. I'll take you home in a bit. Don't go to work today. Get some rest and get some sleep. I can't, I'm meeting N.I. Yang today. Why are you meeting him? Mr. Qin was immediately jealous. Chapter 853. For treatment. He said he hasn't been feeling well lately. I don't know if it's because of the medicine he took, but we made an appointment today. Don't worry about me. If I'm sleepy, I'll take a nap at the hospital. Don't worry about me. If you're tired from work, you should take a nap in the office. You stayed up so late with me last night, okay? Qin Chu nodded. Huamin stared at her husband for a while before asking slowly, Honey, why do you have a gun? Chin Chu slowly raised his head and looked at Huamin's face. He said word by word, shootings happen all the time in the States. The area I lived in wasn't peaceful for a while. I was robbed by a few black men. Then, to protect myself, I bought a gun. It's legal to own a gun in the States. Maybe I got used to it and felt insecure after I came back, so I asked Rick to get me another one. Oh. Huamin nodded. What's wrong? Are you scared? No, I was just scared that something would happen to you. I was a little surprised. It's okay. I'll be fine, Chin Chu comforted her. Honey, those years in the States must have been hard, right? Huamin had never asked Chin Chu how he was doing in the States. She didn't dare to think about it because she knew that Chin Chu wasn't an ignorant rich kid who ate, drank, and played every day in the States. He was Chinese and lived in a place like the States for 7 years. He didn't have any friends or family and was extremely lonely. When Chin Chu said that he was robbed, it was just an understatement, but Huamin could feel that it wasn't a happy memory. The truth was, when Chin Chu first went to the States, he was just a young man in his early 20s. He wasn't mature yet. He wasn't familiar with the place and would be ostracized if he went there. Once, after studying at night, he was robbed by a few black men in a pickup truck on his way home. Chin Chu was actually very skilled. He was a taekwondo master in China. But it was useless in America, because they had guns. If you moved, you would die in minutes. Therefore, he was beaten up badly and robbed of all his money. In the end, he endured the pain, got up, called an ambulance, and went to the hospital. When he arrived at the hospital, the doctor said that he had broken 3 ribs on his left side. But that was in a foreign country. He was all alone. He had no parents, no Huamin, he had spent those days alone. Later on, he bought a gun from the black market and became even colder. However, he had never been bullied by anyone. Instead, he had once saved the life of a gang leader during a gang fight. That person was Rick's elder brother, Lino. Thus, he was still the benefactor of the Rick family. However, he had never mentioned these unpleasant memories to Huamin. Because he didn't want her to worry or be sad. However, Huamin was a smart person. She could tell that Chin Chu was trying to cover up his sadness. Honey, from now on, no one will bully you. I'll protect you. Huamin's eyes were once again drowned in tears. She looked at Chin Chu and said in a choked voice. Okay, from now on, I'll need you to protect me, Dr. Hua. Chin Chu smiled. Huamin's heart ached even more. After breakfast, Chin Chu drove Huamin to South Side before he went to work. When Huamin arrived at South Side, her eyes felt dry. She picked up the eye drops on her desk and poured 2 drops on them. Ni Yang walked in at this time. He didn't even knock on the door, so no one noticed. Sister Huamin. You little brat, you scared me. Why didn't you knock? Huamin put down the eye drops and looked at Ni Yang. I didn't want to disturb other people. The nurses at your hospital are so annoying. I was afraid that they would come over and ask for autographs or pictures. Ni Yang laughed. You didn't sleep well last night. Why are your eyes so red? Ni Yang was shocked when he saw Huamin's rabbit-like eyes. Chapter 854. Yeah, I had something to deal with at home last night. Let's go, I'll take you for a checkup. Then, she dragged Ni Yang to the Department of Hepatobiliary and Pancreatic Surgery. Although South Side started out as a sanatorium, with continuous improvements and the help of the Hua Foundation, it gradually became a top hospital for both recuperation and treatment. More and more people came to seek treatment. President Wu also seemed to be paying more attention to South Side and often came for meetings. Huamin thought that Ni Yang might have developed those symptoms because he often stayed up late, was tired, or ate irregularly and had poor digestion. However, she never expected, when Director Su of the Department of Hepatobiliary and Pancreatic Surgery handed her the report, her heart sank. Director Su, this isn't a misdiagnosis, right? How is that possible? Director Su, who was in his 50s, immediately became angry. Huamin, what do you mean by that? I have more than 30 years of clinical experience. I'm very experienced and I've never misdiagnosed anyone. How can you not trust me? Seeing that Director Su was angry, Huamin quickly explained. That's not what I meant, Director Su. What I meant was, could it be that our equipment is new, so there are some errors in the data? No, I've seen a lot of patients with his condition over the years. It's definitely this illness. But he's only 23 years old. Huamin was in disbelief. You call yourself a doctor. What does age have to do with illness? How could a teenager not have cerebral hemorrhage? How can you analyze the illness based on age? No, I just think it's too sudden. The main problem now is that this person needs to be hospitalized. If there's any delay, his life will be in danger. But Huamin's hands trembled as she held the report. She never thought that Ni Yang would have this illness. There were a few eye-catching words written on the report. It was so dazzling: primary bile effusion, advanced stage of liver cirrhosis. Although Huamin had not studied this disease in depth, she knew what it was. It was a very serious liver failure disease. Most of the patients had no appetite, obvious pain in the abdomen, and weight loss. There were also some patients who suffered from diarrhea, which was a very scary condition. Moreover, Ni Yang was still in the middle and late stages. Do you know what that means? This meant that the patient had to be hospitalized to find a suitable sperm donor. To perform a liver transplant, this patient must have been engaged in a high-intensity job for a long time and was under a lot of mental stress, which caused the decline of his immune system. Most of the patients I've dealt with before were in the TC industry or the sales industry. Director Su analyzed. Director Su, if he wants treatment now, is there any good way to treat him? If you don't want to have a transplant. No. It's written very clearly that he's in the middle and late stages. If he doesn't have a liver transplant, he probably won't last long. I saw on the scan that 38% of his liver has lost its function. It's damaged and needs a new transplant. Oh, right, he also has Rh-negative blood, so it's probably not easy to find a donor. The chances are slim. Director Su's words almost made Huamin faint. Not only did he need a surgery, but Ni Yang also had Rh-negative blood. Oh my God, this was simply adding insult to injury. It was difficult enough because there were very few people who donated their livers. Most of the time, corpses were useless. Only living donors could achieve the best results. However, who would be willing to donate 38% of their livers? Moreover, there were very few Rh-negative blood donors. For a moment, Huamin only felt that her heart had hit rock bottom. Huamin, is this person your relative? Director Su asked curiously. Chapter 855. He's a great little brother of mine. Huamin choked up. I see, that's unfortunate. Get him admitted to the hospital as soon as possible. Also, contact his family to draw blood and see if there's anyone with his blood type. Okay, I'll arrange it as soon as possible. 5 minutes after Director Su left, Ni Yang walked out of the examination room. Huamin immediately crumpled up the report and put it in his pocket. Sister Huamin, what did the doctor say? Oh, nothing, he just said you have indigestion, probably because you don't eat regularly. Are you serious? Don't lie to me. Why would I? Huamin forced a smile. Don't tell me. I have cancer. Yang suddenly asked. What are you talking about? Huamin was a little angry. I'm just joking, why are you so nervous? Yang laughed. No joking, don't say such unlucky things. Huamin looked at him fiercely. I know, don't yell at me. Yang giggled like an idiot. Ever since he met Huamin, he smiled more than before. Even his fans said that he was very sunny now. Should I get some medicine? Yang asked. Not for now, you can go back first. I'll talk to Sister Ingzi about how to adjust your schedule. Okay, I haven't eaten yet. Let's go, I'll treat you to dinner. I'm not going, I still have work to do. Okay, I'll treat you to a big meal next time. Okay. Then, Yang put on a mask and a baseball cap and left Southside Recuperation Center. Huamin called Ingzi with a lot on his mind. After Ingzi found out the truth, she covered her face and cried. A young lady, what should we do now? I'll ask the company to give him a break first, and then persuade him to stay in the hospital. After that, I'll tell him the truth when I find him. Okay. Please save him. He's such a pitiful child. Sister Ingzi was already in tears. I will. He's like my own little brother. After the phone call, Huamin's heart became even heavier. Panda blood? Why must it be Rh-negative blood? This was simply asking for his life. At this moment, she suddenly thought of someone and rushed upstairs without a care. In the VIP ward, Xia Wan was wiping Shui Shui's face. Thank you, big sister. Dr. Hua. Xia Wan turned around. Come here, quick. Okay. Xia Wan put down the towel in her hand, got up and walked out. Sister Xia, what's your blood type? Blood type. I've never tested it before, so I don't know. Xia Wan was startled. Then come with me. Huamin didn't wait for Xia Wan to speak before he pulled her by the hand and ran to the blood test area. Please, give her a blood type test. Quickly. Okay, Dr. Hua. The young nurse immediately began to draw Xia Wan's blood. What's wrong? Dr. Hua, why is he drawing my blood all of a sudden? Xia Wan was confused. I'll tell you when the results come out. It's a long story. After the blood test, Huamin asked his colleagues to hurry up. Not long after, Xia Wan's blood type came out. Huamin took it and looked at it. He was ecstatic. That's great, you have it too. It's true. What do you mean? Xia Wan was confused. You have Rh-negative blood, you don't know that, right? What's Rh-negative blood? Xia Wan was confused, she didn't understand what Huamin was saying. Rh-negative blood is the common name for Rh-negative blood. Because it's very rare, it's called Rh-negative blood. Oh, so that's what it is. Xia Wan finally understood a little. Sister Xia. Yang is sick, and he really needs your help. What's wrong with him? Xia Wan was stunned when she heard that Yang was sick. You might not understand the scientific name, so I'll just say it. He has liver failure, and it's very serious. If he doesn't get surgery in time, his life will be in danger. Ha! Xia Wan's face turned pale. Although she didn't really care about her son, she was still scared when she heard that he might die. Chapter 856. He doesn't know about his condition yet, and I want him to be hospitalized as soon as possible. You're his mother, and you have the same blood type as him, so... I want to ask you, can you help Yang? How can I help? Xiaowan didn't know how to react. Donate your liver. Donate 38% of your liver to you. Because you're his immediate family and have the same blood type as him, there's a high chance that your liver won't reject him. Once you succeed, he'll be like a normal person. Otherwise, he won't last 3 years. Donate my liver. This was a bit sudden for Xiaowan. She was just an ordinary woman with no education, so she couldn't accept such a big thing all of a sudden. Unlike Shui Shui, whose blood was thicker than water, Xiaowan hesitated this time. Miss Xia, don't worry. Even if you donate your liver, it won't be life-threatening. There might be some side effects in the future, but it won't endanger your life. I know you're worried that no one will take care of Shui Shui. Dr. Hua, this is too sudden. Let me think about it. Okay. I don't want to make things difficult for you. Think about it. Seeing that Xiaowan wanted to think about it, Huamin didn't say anything else. Huamin didn't feel well the entire day. So, when she got home from work, she was unexpectedly distracted while driving. Wang Yu's situation hadn't even been sorted out yet, and now this incident had happened here. She hadn't known Ni Yang for long, but he was very loyal to her. Huamin liked him a lot. Although she didn't spoil him as much as Xixin did, she really cared about him. Especially since he had such a pitiful background and was suffering from severe depression. At a fork in the road, the green light suddenly turned red. Huamin didn't notice it and directly ran past it. Then, she bumped into a black Mazda 6 that was coming from the side. There was a loud bang. Luckily, it wasn't very serious. It was just a light collision. However, the man who got out of the Mazda 6 wasn't going to let it go. He yelled at Huamin. Are you blind? Didn't you see the red light? Fuck, so what if you're rich? Don't you know who you are when you drive an Audi R8? Do you have a driver's license? Don't tell me you bought your driver's license. You're still driving in this state. It's a miracle that you're still alive. The middle-aged uncle who got off the Mazda 6 had a very bad mouth. He spat at Huamin. Huamin didn't know how to react. She had been wondering if Xiaowan would save Ni Yang. At this time, a flashy red Ferrari stopped and Su Yu stepped out. What is it? This woman was blind and hit my car, the middle-aged man said. I'll compensate you for hitting your car. Don't you think you're going overboard by scolding me? Su Yu glared at the middle-aged man. I just want to scold. What does it have to do with you? Who are you? The middle-aged man didn't seem to notice that Su Yu was the owner of a Ferrari, so you couldn't help but chuckle at his unreasonableness. Without another word, he returned to his car, stepped on the accelerator, and faced the uncle's Mazda 6 in the middle of the road. With a bang, he hit it. The front of the Ferrari was injured, and the Mazda 6 was basically cut in half. It was too horrible to look at. You actually dared to hit my car. When the traffic police come, I'll teach you a lesson. There's no need to wait for the traffic police. Your new car doesn't even cost 200,000 yuan. I'll give you 300,000 yuan to buy a new car. As for the remaining 100,000, apologize to my friend immediately. Apologize? Are you kidding me? She hit me. You have 10 seconds to think about it. If you don't apologize, I promise you won't get a single cent. So you didn't look like he was joking at all. Which traffic police in C City didn't know him, Lord Su? Chapter 857. If they were here, they would judge the uncle for his mistake. The uncle wasn't stupid. He knew that this kid was the owner of a Ferrari and wasn't someone to mess with. So, he immediately looked at Huamin and said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have yelled at you. I was too agitated. Min was speechless. She didn't expect Suyu to appear here. After the uncle apologized, Suyu took out a platinum business card and threw it at the uncle's face. Go to this place tomorrow and get 300,000 yuan. Remember to bring your suitcase, we only give you cash. The uncle took the business card and looked at the name on it. He was so scared that his scalp went numb. Suyu. These two words were like a god in this city. No, 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 ha. I don't want it, I don't want the money. Before Suyu could say anything, the uncle turned and ran, as if he was afraid that he would offend someone important. Are you okay? Suyu looked back at Min and asked with concern. Min shook his head. You don't usually drive like this. Why were you distracted today? I was too engrossed in my thoughts. It's too dangerous. It's okay if you hit someone, but it's bad if you get hurt. Luckily, it was a Mazda today. If it was a truck, I don't even dare to think about it. Suyu was still scared. He was going back to the Su mansion after work, but he didn't expect to see a traffic jam. When he passed by, he saw the license plate of the Audi R8 and knew that it was Min. He immediately got out of the car. Okay, I know. Just now. Thank you. Min sincerely thanked Suyu. What are you thanking me for? Go home, drive slowly. Okay. Min turned around and got into the car. Then, he drove away. When the traffic police saw that it was Lord Su, they didn't dare to approach him. They just dispersed the crowd. When Suyu returned home, it was already 6 p.m. Grandpa, you're finally back. I missed you so much. As soon as Suyu entered the house, he saw Lord Su sitting on the sofa in the living room drinking tea and watching the news. She immediately rushed forward and gave the old man a big hug. Brat. If I didn't call you, would you even know to come home? Although Lord Su scolded her, his eyes were full of love. Nonsense. I've been back many times recently. You and Dad aren't home, so I have to come back to accompany Mom. So obedient. Obviously, the old man didn't believe it. Lady Su came downstairs with a smile and said, Dad, you is telling the truth. He even ate the egg fried rice I made that day. At least you have a conscience. The old man was obviously very happy. Madam, dinner is ready, the maid said carefully. I'll go get your dad. You and Grandpa can sit first. Then, Suyu's grandfather stood up. His body was very sturdy. He walked to the wine cabinet and took a bottle of Jian Nan Chun. Brat, drink with me. Sure. It's rare for Grandpa to be so happy. I have to drink. Suyu liked his grandfather very much and knew how to please him. The grandfather and grandson opened a 500-liter bottle of white wine. Just then, Mrs. Su and Mr. Su came downstairs. Dad. You're back. Mr. Su had always been very serious. Because he managed the largest private bank in the country, he often went on business trips. He traveled all over the country and dealt with the executives of various provinces and cities, so he was very old-fashioned. There were more than 10 delicious dishes on the table. The family of 4 sat down, and the atmosphere was very lively. Have you had a girlfriend recently? Lord Su asked. No. Tell me the truth. Lord Su obviously didn't believe him. I really haven't, Grandpa, Suyu replied as he picked up a mouthful of vegetables and ate. But, why did I see some news and newspapers say that you have a close relationship with a popular female celebrity in your company? Lord Su asked in all seriousness. Chapter 858. Pfft. Grandpa, you're the head of the military. how can you read all this gossip? You must be drunk. Drunk? How can I be drunk when I haven't even had a drink? You're just talking nonsense. The old man obviously didn't know what the internet was talking about and misunderstood Su Yu's meaning. Dad, when he said he was drunk, he didn't mean that he was really drunk. He meant that he was speechless, Mr. Su explained. Su Yu immediately gave him a thumbs up. See, my dad's the quick-witted one. Go away, let's get down to business. You're almost 30, but you still don't know how to be serious. Mr. Su scolded. Su Yu stuck out his tongue. Mrs. Su immediately defended her son. You just came back, don't talk about our son. He's been busy with work recently. Su Yu is like this because you spoiled him. Mr. Su looked at Mrs. Su and scolded her. Why are you blaming me? Isn't he your son? It's as if you don't love him. Oh, okay. It's rare for us to get together, let's not talk about these unpleasant things. Ha. Then tell Grandpa, when are you going to find me a granddaughter-in-law? What's the rush? Aren't things fine now? What if I find you a barbaric and unreasonable woman? What if she pisses you off? Su Yu said on purpose. I'm happy even if she pisses me off. I'm old and want a great-grandson. That's easy. Ha, I'll make a test tube. Don't talk nonsense, eat, Mr. Su scolded. Huamin was driving. Before he arrived home, he received a call from Jixin. Sis, something happened. What happened? Huamin's heart skipped a beat. She jumped off a building. Then, Jixin began to cry. Huamin slammed on the brakes and stopped the car on the side of the road, gasping for air. She made a sharp turn and drove straight to the first hospital. When she arrived, Huang Yu was already covered with a white cloth and was being wheeled to the morgue. Huang Yu's family members were crying their eyes out. The entire corridor was filled with sorrowful sobs. How could this be? Huamin was dumbfounded. About half an hour ago, she said she wanted vegetable porridge, so I went out to buy it, but Jixin burst into tears again. The nurse at the hospital told Huamin that half an hour ago, Wang Yu sent Jixin and her family away. She jumped from the 6th floor of her apartment and landed on her head. It was obvious that he wanted to die. The hospital carried him to the emergency room for more than 20 minutes before declaring him brain dead. Actually, Huang Yu's decision wasn't too surprising. Qin Chu called her before she got off work. At the Gaoran police station, several scumbags had already confessed. Ever since that party, that scumbag called Yuan Ziwei had his eyes on Huang Yu. He had been pestering her. He even took a lot of photos of her and threatened her to have sex with him. During this time, he kept on abusing and sexually assaulting her. Because she was timid, she endured it all. That day, after feeding Huang Yu medicine, 3 of the 6 of them took turns to have sex with Huang Yu. Huang Yu didn't remember at first when she woke up, but she gradually remembered. Then, she kept showering and talking to herself in a daze. Later, when Jixin went out, she couldn't take it anymore and jumped down. Perhaps, to her now, death was her true salvation. Huamin leaned against the wall in the corridor, his heart sinking bit by bit. In front of him was still that girl who loved to smile. He asked nosily, Mian, you also graduated from second high, do you know Prince Qin Chu? Such a good girl, but because she met a scumbag in her best years, she fell into a swamp of mud. Huamin's tears slowly fell. Then, she and Jixin hugged each other in the corridor, and the siblings burst into tears. Sis. I'm so sad, my heart hurts. I feel like I'm going to die, Jixin said with difficulty as he pointed at his chest. Huang Yu was his first love, the girl he loved the most, but now, she died in front of him. When Qin Chu arrived at the hospital, it was already past 7 p.m. He drove Huamin and Jixin back to Sky Blessing Court. When Yang Meirong heard the news, she was also devastated. Everyone in the family was silent. Honey, those scumbags, how did the police deal with them? Huamin suddenly hated those scumbags. Chapter 859. We found a lot of Bing, enough to warrant a death sentence. Don't worry, Qin Chu said slowly. Huamin nodded and didn't say anything else. Sis, I'm a bit sleepy, I'm going upstairs. Jixin. Huamin stood up nervously. Sis, I'm fine. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid. I still have you and Mom to take care of. I just want to be alone for a while. Okay, you have to pull yourself together. You have to live like a man. Huamin knew that for the 19-year-old Jixin, losing the love of his life was a very painful thing. She was really afraid that he wouldn't be able to take it. Jixin nodded. Yang Meirong wiped away her tears. Look at you, she's such a nice girl. How could she be with those people? She even hid it from us and didn't let us help her. What a shame, she's only 21 years old. I always thought that she could be our daughter-in-law. Mom, the dead can't come back to life. Don't be sad, take good care of Jixin. Okay, you two should go home. Look at the bags under your eyes. You haven't slept well in the past few days. Yang Meirong looked at Huamin with heartache. When Qin Chu pulled Huamin into the car, Qin Chu suddenly asked, Honey, did you get into a car accident today? Yeah. Are you okay? No, my car just got scratched. It's okay, you can get it fixed at a 4S shop. After I got into a car accident today, I ran into Suyu. He came over and helped me out, Huamin said. Yeah. Qin Chu nodded. He was comforted by Huamin's honesty. Honey, yeah. I know you're sad, but we still have to get over it. I know, I'm sad, but I can adjust. I'm just worried that I think Jixin might have matured a lot after this incident. Don't worry so much. When the two arrived home, it was already 10 p.m. Huamin's stomach growled in hunger. Although she kept saying that she had no appetite, Qin Chu still insisted on making her a bowl of ramen. Then, he coaxed her to eat a little bit. After eating, Huamin nestled in Qin Chu's arms with an indifferent expression. Hubby, if I die one day, will you miss me? I won't. So heartless. Huamin raised his head, clearly displeased. Qin Chu looked into Huamin's eyes affectionately and said quietly, If you live, I live. If you die, I die. After hearing this, Huamin was deeply shocked once again. She wrapped her arms tightly around Qin Chu's waist. Suddenly, he felt that the parting between life and death was too frightening. Perhaps it was just around the corner, a fresh life could wither in an instant, and then they would never have the chance to meet again for the rest of their lives. At 11 p.m., Jixin updated his WeChat moments. He posted a picture of a candle praying and wrote, In this world, other than life and death, everything else is insignificant. I hope that you will never suffer again, and I hope that you can forget everything that you should forget. Huamin's heart ached, so he sent him a WeChat message. Jixin, she won't suffer anymore in heaven. My condolences. Sis, I suddenly have an idea. I wonder if you'll agree with me. Jixin replied. What? I want to study abroad and leave this city for a while. Otherwise, I think I'll die of heartache. Jixin felt that Huang Yu's shadow was everywhere in this city, so he was very sad. When? Now. Now. Huamin froze. Chapter 860. Sis. I want to leave right now. I want to leave right now. Jixin. Huamin's heart suddenly ached, but she didn't know what to say to her brother. Everyone understood the big picture, but persuasion wasn't enough to make him feel better. After all, he had been through so much. Huang Yu's death was a heavy blow to Jixin. No matter how strong he was only 19 years old. This was why Huamin didn't want Jixin to get into a relationship too early. It was because he was too infatuated and thought too highly of everything. He hadn't seen through the sadness, darkness, pain, and despair of the world. Sis. I can't take it anymore. I think I'm going to die. Huamin was silent. Sis, let me go. I promise that in a year or 2, 3 or 5, time will heal all wounds. But right now, I really need to leave. Mom and I will miss you a lot. I know, it's not like I'm never coming back. I just want to study abroad, just like my brother-in-law did. Do you have a country you want to go to? Huamin finally compromised. Anything. I just want to leave here as soon as possible. Okay, I'll discuss it with your brother-in-law. Huamin hung up her phone with a heavy heart. She glanced at Qin Chu, who was reading beside her. Honey. Jixin wants to go abroad. That's a good idea, sure. Qin Chu was very calm. But I'll miss him a lot. Boys have to go out and gain experience. You can't protect him forever. Plus, there are a lot of things that you can't help with. He'll figure it out on his own, just like a little bird. He'll grow up and leave on his own. He'll become a responsible man like me, a husband to a woman, and a great father in the future. So, you really don't have to miss him. I think it's good to go out and broaden your horizons. Qin Chu put down the book in his hand and gently comforted Huamin. Then, where do you think we should go? I've never been abroad and I don't know where to go. It's so sudden. Jixin's idea was too sudden, and Huamin wasn't ready yet, so he was a little confused. She turned to Qin Chu for help. Singapore or New Zealand? Didn't you say that Europe and America are more developed? Huamin was a little confused. Europe and the United States are developed, but the environment there isn't very safe. Jixin's personality is suitable for countries with better security and higher happiness index. Singapore and New Zealand are known for their good security, beautiful scenery, and developed citizens. I'm sure he'll like them. All right. Then I'll go to the company tomorrow and help him with the procedures to go abroad. Huamin nodded weakly. Does Auntie know? I don't know yet. I'll talk to my mother about it when the contract is completed. All right. When does he want to leave? Huamin sighed. His voice was very soft. He said that the sooner the better. It's best if it's now. All right, I got it. Then, the couple fell asleep in each other's arms. The good thing was that with Qin Chu by her side, Huamin didn't have to do a lot of things himself. It was a lot more relaxing. She felt that it was better to share all her sadness with 2 people than to shoulder it alone. She was very grateful that Qin Chu was by her side at this moment. When Huamin went to work the next day, Sister Ingzi forcefully dragged Ni Yang to the hospital. Huamin and Ni Yang were chatting as they walked. Sister Huamin, Sister Ingzi is making a mountain out of a molehill. I just have indigestion. Why do I have to stay in the hospital and stop work? This is too much. Hurry up and talk to her. You haven't been that busy lately, so it's good for you to rest in the hospital. Treat it like a vacation. I'm speechless. Why are you speaking up for her? Sister Huamin, are you guys hiding something from me? Ni Yang was beside Huamin and was still strongly protesting about being hospitalized. Just then, they bumped into Xiaowan, who had just returned from buying fruits for Shui Shui. She was wearing an old red shirt and a pair of worn-out black pants. She was carefully carrying a few apples. Why are you here? Ni Yang's eyes gradually turned cold when he saw Xia Wan. Xia Wan was also very surprised, as if she wasn't mentally prepared. She looked at Ni Yang with a conflicted expression. Chapter 861. Xia Wan looked at Ni Yang, then looked at Huamin. Without saying a word, she lowered her head and left. Why is she here? Ni Yang frowned. He was still upset about Xia Wan's appearance. Who is she? Huamin pretended not to know. She didn't want Ni Yang to know anything right now. She's the woman who heartlessly abandoned me. Ha, what a joke. Why is she here? Did something happen to my good son? Ni Yang said coldly. Forget it. Don't worry about other people for now, ancestor. Take care of yourself first. South side is pretty good. I've arranged a VIP room for you on the top floor, but there's one thing you can't go downstairs. You'll cause a riot. Hey, hey. Huamin, sister. No matter how much Ni Yang protested, Huamin ignored him. In the end, she forced him to stay in the VIP room on the top floor and arranged for a caregiver and a doctor. Everyone kept Ni Yang's identity a secret because of his special identity. Ni Yang had no choice but to do as he was told, but he didn't know what kind of illness he had. His attitude was quite optimistic. He watched TV, listened to music, and surfed the internet every day, but he couldn't go downstairs. Sister Ingzi quietly pulled Huamin out and asked, a young lady. Ni Yang is in the hospital. The surgery has to be done as soon as possible. Otherwise, if he doesn't show up for a long time, the fans will riot. The media will be watching, and if they find out that he's in the hospital, the consequences will be unimaginable. I know, I'm anxious too. Right now, there's no suitable surgery. I'll think of something. Okay, I'll wait for your news. After leaving the hospital room, Huamin's heart was heavy. Xia Wan hadn't made up her mind yet, and she didn't want to rush her. Ni Yang's life was still in the hands of the woman who once abandoned him. If Xia Wan didn't agree, she had no other choice. She could only go to other places to see if there were any suitable catheters and continue to operate on Ni Yang. Huamin felt that things weren't going well for him lately, whether it was Xixin, Huang Yu, or Shui Shui, Ni Yang, they all made her heart ache. When she got off work, she received another call from the Hua Corporation. The call was from Hua Xiqian's secretary, asking her to attend the board meeting. Huamin felt a headache coming on. He wanted to refuse to attend, but he vaguely remembered that Hua Xiqian was about to make a move. It would be bad if the plan was disrupted because of him. Therefore, he braced himself and drove straight to the Hua Corporation. Hua Group headquarters. Huamin was a very punctual person. She always arrived 5 minutes early. When she arrived at the meeting room, Hui Yanyan and the others weren't there yet. Hua Xiqian wasn't there either. Only a few board members were there. When they saw Huamin, they politely greeted her. Of course, it wasn't because she was the daughter of the Hua Corporation, but because she was now Qin Chu's wife. That was the key. People were snobbish. Mian, you're here so early, Hua Zhenghai greeted Huamin as soon as he walked in. Huamin nodded slightly, then, Hui Yanyan and Shinjiani walked in behind Hua Zhenghai. After them, Hua Si walked in. When he saw Huamin, his eyes were filled with fear. He hid far away from Huamin and sat down beside Hui Yanyan without saying anything. At 6:15 p.m., Hua Xiqian walked in with his beautiful secretary. He was wearing a coffee-colored casual suit, and the smile on his face was gone. Something seemed to have happened. When he saw Huamin, a flash of gentleness appeared in his eyes, but no one else noticed it. President Hua, you can begin. The female secretary reminded him softly. Chapter 862. Hua Xiqian looked around. Is everyone here? Everyone's here, the female secretary replied. Okay, then let's begin. Today's meeting is about my good brother, Mr. Hua Xi, his negligence in the project he was in charge of. See, tell everyone about it. After Hua Xiqian finished speaking, he slammed the documents onto the table. Then, he leaned back in his chair, looking very impatient. Hua Xi was a little scared, as if he didn't dare to speak. See, what's wrong? Xinjiani looked at her son anxiously and asked. Everyone has a copy of the detailed documents in front of you. If Vice President Hua is too embarrassed to say it himself, you can take a look for yourselves. It'll be clear at a glance. After Hua Xiqian finished speaking, Hua Min took the documents in front of him and slowly opened them. After looking through them, he roughly understood the situation. The project had only been launched for less than 2 months, but the Hua Corporation had already invested nearly 600 million yuan. However, Hua Xiqian recently found out that less than 300 million yuan was actually spent on the project. In other words, 400 million yuan had disappeared without a trace. The accounts were also very vague, so it was obvious that someone had tampered with them. After reading the documents, Hua Min didn't say anything, nor did he move. Hua Zhenghai took a look at the documents, and then his face gradually darkened. See, what's going on? Hua Zhenghai asked in a serious tone. Dad, this has nothing to do with me, I really don't know. I didn't take a single cent, and I don't know where the money went either. Maybe I didn't invest that much in the first place. Hua Xi desperately tried to shift the blame. Bastard. Hua Zhenghai slammed the documents onto the table. I was the one who signed the financial audit, how could I not know how much money was spent? Hua Zhenghai was a little angry at his youngest son's excuse. Don't be angry. Let's get to the bottom of this first. Xi wouldn't have the guts to do something so stupid. Xinjiani felt bad for her son and immediately tried to persuade him. Yeah. Dad, don't be angry. I think my brother might have been set up by someone. Who knows? After all, there are a lot of ambitious people in our company who might have wronged my brother, Hua Yanyan said as she looked at Hua Xiqian with hostility. Hua Xiqian sneered and didn't even bother to speak. You've taken over this project for some time now. So, tell me, where did the money end up? Did you grow wings and fly away? Hua Xiqian sneered. How would I know? I wasn't the only one who accepted this project. There were at least 50 people involved in this project, if not 100, so it's normal that it's gone. Big brother, you should investigate the vampires under me, not me. Hua Xi tried to push all the blame onto someone else and find a few scapegoats to take the blame. Xinjiani immediately added, that's right, there are always problems with the accounts every time we take on a project. It's unavoidable. After all, it's hard to clean up all the parasites, so we can't let Xi take the blame. This kind of thing happens every time, but after Dad and I took over, we always kept the difference within 5 million yuan. This time, Mr. Hua Xi found out that it was 400 million yuan. I have no choice but to ask. Dad, what do you think? 400 million yuan is too much. We have to investigate this thoroughly, we can't let it go. Hua Zhenghai wasn't stupid. The Hua Corporation wasn't as rich as Imperial Star and GK. They wouldn't ignore a few 100 million yuan. Therefore, Hua Zhenghai felt as if someone had cut off a piece of his heart. He wouldn't stop investigating just because he indulged his youngest son. Plus, subconsciously, he didn't think his youngest son had anything to do with it. Then investigate, I didn't take it anyway. Hua Xi didn't care at all. He seemed to think that with his dad, mom, and sister protecting him, Hua Xiqian wouldn't do anything to him, no matter how powerful he was. However, he was wrong. Hua Xiqian didn't do anything to him not because he was afraid of anyone. It was because he didn't have the right opportunity. Little sister Mian, what do you think about this? Hua Xiqian's gaze finally landed on Hua Min. Chapter 863. As soon as he said this, everyone's eyes immediately fell on Hua Min. Hua Min wore a navy blue coat today. She looked mature and her hair was fluffy. She looked like a Korean socialite. Compared to Hua Yinyan's DG floral dress, she was indeed low-key and luxurious. Since we have a board of directors, it's for everyone to discuss and make decisions on important matters, but in the end, it's all for the good of the company. Since there was such a vicious embezzlement, we naturally have to investigate to the end. Whoever is responsible will have to take responsibility. After Hua Min finished speaking, the other board of directors nodded in agreement. Miss Hua is right, we all agree. Very well, if that's the case, then I think we really need to investigate this thoroughly. Dad, what do you think? After speaking, Hua Xiqian looked at Hua Zhenghai again. Yes, since everyone agrees, then let's investigate. We can discuss it when we find something. Hua Zhenghai thought that this was just the beginning and that the investigation would take a few more days. However, to his surprise, Hua Xiqian didn't intend to end the meeting. He turned around and said to the female secretary, "Distribute the second set of documents to everyone." Yes, President Hua. The female secretary stood up and distributed the documents in her hands to all the board of directors. Hua Min picked it up and quickly read through it. His eyes were still as calm as ever. She knew that Hua Xiqian would play Hua Xi to death in a matter of minutes. As expected, after Shen Jiani and Hua Zhenghai read the second set of documents, their expressions changed. This. Xiqian, did you make a mistake? Yeah. Xi wouldn't do this, he must have been framed. Shen Jiani anxiously defended Hua Xi. Ha, don't be so anxious. Let me finish. I'm investigating this matter, so I have to consider everything. I won't suspect anyone just because of one or two pieces of evidence. It's true that Xi didn't take all of the 400 million yuan. He only took a portion of it. Then, Hua Xiqian picked up the second document in his hand and read, half a month ago, Mr. Hua Xi bought the white jade guanyin at the Lanyu auction house for more than 8 million yuan. Then, he gave it to his date that night, an actress from Imperial Star, Miss Cotton Candy. This is reported by the media, and there are also videos of the auction house that prove it. Last Tuesday, Mr. Hua Xi went to Tianyu and spent 1.2 million yuan in one night. It's understandable that he treated his friends to a party since it was only a little over 1 million yuan. But here's the main point. Last Friday, he flew to Las Vegas with a few rich kids and young models and lost 48 million yuan in one night gambling. Then, he spent 1.2 million yuan on a one-night stand with a Russian actress. So far, the total is over 60 million yuan. After Hua Xiqian finished speaking, the crowd went into an uproar. See, is this true? Hua Zhenghai furrowed his brows and glared at his youngest son. Dad. Before he could explain himself, Hua Xiqian interrupted him. Hua Xiqian added, it's possible to check the entry and exit of the Las Vegas airport. Of course, the money wasn't directly transferred from his bank account. Instead, it was transferred from the company's finance department to an account in space, and then to his own account. This is a typical hacker operation. Although it's hard to find, I'm sorry. I have a friend who's a top-notch hacker and he figured out where the money went. So, see, my dear little brother, I want to ask you something. It doesn't matter if you spent or lost 60 million yuan, but where did you hide the remaining 300 million yuan? Take it out and I'll forgive you. No, I didn't. Hua Xi shook his head vehemently. Chapter 864. How dare you deny it? Huasi, how dare you? Hua Xinghai never would have dreamed that he would do something like this. Giving gifts to female celebrities, having sex with foreign female celebrities, and spending a fortune at the casino, Hua Xinghai had never been so extravagant in his life, not even to his beloved Xinjiani. Dad, don't listen to him. I spent the 60 million yuan, but I didn't take the 300 million yuan. I really didn't. I don't know where it went either. Huasi panicked and blurted everything out. Huamin immediately seized the opportunity and asked, "So, you admit to taking the 60 million? All of the board members looked at Huasi with hatred in their eyes. Xinjiani's face was extremely ugly, and she reminded him, "See, you can't say things like that, think carefully before you speak." Huasi couldn't take the pressure, so he got up and knelt down in front of Hua Xinghai. "Dad. I was wrong, I did spend the money, but I only took 60 million. I was encouraged by my friends, I didn't play with these things before, I was wrong, but I really don't know where the 300 million went, I really don't know, I didn't do it." Do you think anyone will believe you if you say that? My good brother, a prodigal son is more precious than gold. If you take out the remaining 300 million, we can forgive you, Huasichen said with a gentle smile. At this moment, Huamin was sure that the 300 million wasn't in Huasi's hands. This time, he was really played by Huasichen. "You bastard, tell us where you hid the rest of the money, take it out." Hua Xinghai kicked Huasi. Xinjiani was heartbroken, and she immediately went up to hug Huasi. "See, tell me, what happened? Why were you so stupid?" "Mom. I really didn't know about the 300 million or so. I only took 60 million. I was set up by someone. They said that hackers transferred the money to a Swiss bank account first, so they wouldn't be able to find it. I didn't expect it to be like this, I was wrong. My dear brother, you don't have to be afraid. I've already told you that the Hua family can afford 60 million yuan, so we can treat it as a joke. However, if you're using 400 million yuan for the project, that's unforgivable. Do you know what 400 million yuan means?" It was true that the Hua Corporation wasn't the kind of corporation that could ignore hundreds of millions of yuan. Therefore, Huasichen's expenses were far from Su Yu's. He did not spend much money himself. Most of the drivers were Maseratis that cost more than 2 million yuan, unlike Su Yu's Lamborghini and Ferrari. For a young prodigal like Huasi, it was normal for him to spend millions or even tens of millions. If he swallowed the 400 million yuan in one go, he would be in deep trouble. "Xinghai. I think the kid is a little scared. Why don't we talk about this at home?" Xinjiani did not want to put more pressure on Huasi, so she wanted to talk about it at home. Huasichen did not want to. He immediately laughed and said, "Director Xin, why are you so confused? This is a business matter, why do you have to talk about it at home? It's fine if it's our family, but the board of directors is watching us. If we don't give them an explanation, how can they accept it? Where's my dad's prestige? Where's my credibility? Where's the integrity of the Hua Corporation?" Huasichen was indeed aggressive. Huamin could tell that his plan was too meticulous. He wanted to bring down the idiot Huasi in one fell swoop. "See, tell me, where did the money go?" Even Hui Yanyan believed that the rest of the money was with Huasi. Xinjiani immediately turned around and slapped Hui Yanyan. "What are you talking about? Didn't you hear your brother say that the rest of the money isn't with him? Why are you adding fuel to the fire?" Hui Yanyan was slapped. She covered her face and did not dare to make a sound. Huamin did not say a word. "Little sister Mian, what do you think? Do you trust Si?" Huasichen asked Huamin with a smile. Huamin said word by word, "I don't trust anyone. I only look at the evidence. I saw that all of the money was signed by Mr. Huisi. I think we can compare it with the original document to see if it's his handwriting or if someone forged it. Perfect. Huisi-chan clapped. Then, he turned around and said to his secretary, "Come, get the third document." Shinjiani's heart sank when she heard that there was a third document. This time, Huisi-chan came prepared. "You're tuning in to the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.